This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show.
I have the do record.
I wreck
me, daddy. 3, 2, 1.
So I was just staring. You were in my peripheral vision, and I was hoping I could still get the clap without a countdown, but you didn't even give me the chance. Oh, well. I remember, oh, God, there was no way. my hands are down by my knees. Too far.
Jamie while podcasting. Tenacious grip on knees.
My hands are always up in the clap position, just waiting for Brian.
How long do you think you could hold your arms in the clap position?
5 minutes. I don't know. I'm not
worthy battle.
Yeah. Well, that's it for these arms. They're not part of me anymore. I saw a meme.
Dad, what happened? I never heard the story about how your arms stopped working. Well, Aaron, you see, I held my arms up for 5 minutes once, and that was the end of them.
Oh my God, you're crackling so bad.
You're crackling so bad.
Yeah, I should leave that one in so people can actually hear it for once. I think I've cut it out most of the time. And I just Brian was a robot, and no one understands.
When you edit it after the fact, is it crackly?
Yeah. So
what is going on?
I don't know.
Why would it do that occasionally?
For a while it was the grounding in your shed house, but you're not there anymore. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know.
Sample rates.
But anyway, this is episode 131 of Jump on the Bat-Wagon. Hey! I'm James.
I almost said, and I'm Brian.
Oh, man.
Fuck it, and I'm Brian. 131.
Yeah. We're getting there. And I'm here to show my good buddy Brian. That's him over there. The entire DC animated universe. From start to finish, bless our souls, for the very first time in the controversial Airdate order. So controversial that we watched Mr. Freeze in the flip-flop version of what we were supposed to.
Wow. I feel like I want a Brian side of that. Like, I'm Brian, and my fucking insane friend James here is subjecting me to decades worth of the DCAU
cartoons
and the controversial Airdate order.
I didn't ask him to do this. I was talking to Jessica on a ride home from her dad's house the other day about, like, there should just be a, like, terms of service you have to sign when you become my friend that just says, like, warning, if you have any talent, I will exploit it forever.
That is a very good idea. But the thing is, this is okay, like, honest to God, though, like, you know me, you know my love for all things chaotic, and you know my ability just to, like, sign on for absolute bullshit. If you're like, hey, since we're seemingly getting along at this whole big bus place,
I have a vested interest in you as a person.
I'm gonna need you to sign this contract. Like, I would have on the spot, no questions asked, just for the laugh.
Yeah, I would have thrown it into your office via paper airplane. And
sign this.
Yes, your soul here, Brian Maneely. Print and then sign. Yeah. Yeah, you would have.
So I guess it doesn't matter at this point.
Actually,
if you want me to sign it now, that's fine.
You did do that, but the contract erases your memory of signing it. So that's how it works. I'm so sorry. I also have your singing voice now. That's the Scuttle. I took the Scuttle voice. Oh, no. You don't understand. This is a Little Mermaid reference, you old man. You old fuck. So that he may view these shows the way human beings experienced them in the far gone days of the 1900s. At the time of this recording,
6:43 p.m.
Superman, the animated series, is streaming on Max.
My dog.
And available on DVD and Blu-ray.
My other dog. Weird name, huh?
That's such a weird name for a dog. How long do we let that go? Does it just keep going forever? We just do it?
Maybe not.
I mean, there will be some that are not available on Blu-ray. It'll just be on DVD, and then it's like, whose dog is that? What the fuck?
Neighbor. It's a neighbor dog. It's the one that barks from through the fence.
And then we always have to shout, "Hey, DVD and Blu-ray," so they know that we're not talking to their dog, because that's not our place to yell at
pretty much
dog. Yeah.
how the world works. Yeah.
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 If you'd like to follow along, you can head over to bit.ly/watch DCAU, Brian's other dog. Links in the show notes. Today we're watching Little Girl Lost, parts 1 through 2. Your prediction 2 times ago when I fucked up and said it was this before. Do you think it is Batman or Superman?
I'm going to go with Batman.
Nope.
Damn it.
Damn it. Something that sound effect like foghorn. Anyway, Little Girl Lost parts 1 through 2. What do you think's happening in the Superman episode called that?
Supergirl is lost. No. Clayface's other. No.
You were right the first time.
What?
You were right the first time.
Supergirl? Mm-hmm. Oh, there is a Supergirl.
There is a Supergirl.
I got you a cape.
Oh, yeah.
Supergirl cape.
You did give me a Supergirl. I wore it in the DCEU timeline video.
Oh, you also wore it at the live podcast.
I sure did.
Yeah. So fucking Supergirl's origin story.
I was just going to say, you better say it. Yeah.
I haven't leaned into that old trope for a while.
No, you haven't. But you do get to do... I'll play that. Supergirl. Yeah, Supergirl's origin story. You got it, baby.
Sick.
What is that? This is Supergirl's origin story, which is correct. And then last time you also added on to that with some sort of roofing architect analogy that I've already forgotten.
Yeah.
So that's correct. This first aired Saturday, May 2nd, 1998. Where were you? I was in 2nd grade, I think.
I was in 8th grade.
Nice.
Preparing for my best friend's birthday, probably. His birthday is May 7th.
I know someone with May 2nd, and I'm blanking on who it is. It might have been the girl that I had a crush on in high school that's not my wife now.
It's your wife. Oh.
No. That's my birthday. Is the same.
What?
We have the same birthday. God. Did you know that? At 9:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Kids WB. They didn't show it twice. It's the 2. Yeah. Thank you. That's the sound we play when I say Kids WB. It's always a different part of the song. 1 week after our last episode, Mean Seasons, this was the 40th and 41st episode to air. We're on the how many? These are Superman
double digits.
Superman
you hit double digits
40.
when you get to the 40s.
Yeah, it was singled when it was 39 somehow.
Yep.
They just mushed the numbers together into a singular form.
I was going to make a joke about being single at 39, but it wouldn't be true.
Correct. Because you were just 39 not too long ago. You prick. I don't know. I'm being mean today. It produced number 37 and 38. This was written, part 1 was written by Evan Dorkin and Sarah Dyer, and Paul Dini and Alan Burnett. And part 2,
they did the thing where they, like every other word, like someone took a word. And they're
it's
like,
one of those, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
They did where you do like a campfire round where you say like a sentence. The other,
and they'd be like, Batman. And then like
nope.
someone's like, nope.
They went, whoops. Yeah, it's one of those where it's like Evan Dorkin ampersand Sarah Dyer. The word and Paul Dini ampersand Alan Burnett. Like it's 2 different little teams writing the thing separately. I don't really understand what they did of each.
That's not really good for algebra.
No.
Like
divided by 2. That's algebra, right? No.
Yeah. Okay. In algebra, you divide things by 2.
That's all you do. And part 2, algebra, was a story by Rich Fogel and written by Evan Dorkin and Sarah Dyer. That duo previously wrote Livewire and Monkey Fun, and they went on to get married in 2001.
That rhymed.
That's so neat. Oh,
I don't care about the marriage, but just the rhyme.
It's just some kind of Disney, like He does a great Mickey Mouse impression sort of thing. But the duo previously wrote Livewire and Monkey Fun. They would go on to get married in 2001. Off in the corner. Let's do the
Someone
Evan
remix
Dorkin,
that.
Sarah Dyer musical.
It's pretty short. It's a pretty short musical. It's like 15 seconds long.
They also wrote Little Girl Lust, Bump Bump. Directed by Kurt Gaeta and music by Lolita Ritmanis with animation by Coco Dong Yang.
That's my guy.
The previous thing I said, yeah, that's your guy. Head over to the link in the description to send us a Yoppie beverage and support the show. We'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode. Wow! We'll also do a push-up for every single fucking goddamn dollar. So send us coffee for our health and your entertainment. This podcast, not for children.
Where can you get that kind of entertainment?
I don't know.
Have you ever enslaved somebody with your push-up money? If you're one of the several people who have done that for us, then
yes, you have. Today's Yoppie Bevs come to us from Jonathan Adkins, who says, thanks for being my constant companion this last month and a half as I've completely caught up. You guys are the yoppiest and sometimes horniest DCAU podcast around. Seriously, didn't remember just how many scenes involve Superman kissing other citizens with their consent, of course. Nobody turns down a super kiss from Superman. Stay yoppy and enjoy the bevs. There's 2 of them.
Thank you.
We do 10 push-ups.
Horny push-ups.
Oh, yeah. All right. I can do that.
What's a horny push-up sound like?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Stopped Brian from doing it. You didn't bring your headphones, but you can still hear me, I'm sure.
No, I didn't.
You didn't, so we were doing the exact same thing, and you just cracked yourself up?
I made a, oh, did you hear me?
Yeah, we were both going, 1.
Yeah, I did that 1. And then I laughed through 2, and then I had to stop. I don't know why that was funny. Probably because I haven't slept enough the past 2 days.
Because we're the horniest DCAU podcast you've ever listened to.
Oh my God. You should just put that in the subtitle. I
don't think it should be in a title with little girl in it. Or
yes, it should.
Horniest podcast. Well, let's go watch that, I guess. Here we go.
Okay.
Off to Neverland.
But Lois, I was right there when Intergang hit. Why can't I help you with the story?
Too dangerous. Stick to the dark room, kiddo.
But Lois...
Can you talk some sense into him?
I've had my fill of teenagers today.
Look, I think one of them might have dropped this. It's a game token. All we have to do is hit every video parlor in Metropolis.
Good. You go, Jim. Have a free game on me.
Okay. Fine. She said, go, I'll go. She doesn't think I can do it, I'm doing it. I'll just go it alone.
Can I join you?
Guess who's back? Back again.
Boop, boop, boop. Who is
Jamie.
Oh.
Kimmy's back. Kimmy's back from a backpacking trip.
The planet Argo.
Mount Hood, and then a vacation-y kind of thing, camping up to Washington.
Wow.
And she's going to sleep for 16 hours now.
I'm glad to get an update on Kimmy. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody needed that.
Yeah. Kimmy just got back from a planet that was pushed out of its orbit by the explosion of Krypton. And then she was like, I'm going to sleep for 16 years or whatever.
I had timeline questions that we can get into later if you want.
Yes.
If you're
we can. All right.
Okay.
It's coming up.
This
is the part where Brian says,
the shortened summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
That part worked out pretty okay.
That worked out very well, actually.
What happens in Little Girl Lars parts 1 through 2?
Little Girl
Little
Lars.
Girl James has a stroke parts 1 through 2.
Oh, God. All right. Superman is flying in his space dick, and he's like, Captain's log.
Exactly.
I'm looking through the windshield of the spacecraft, and I see no signs of life, and the scanner finds no signs of life. But wait, what's
I must
that?
be exposition voiceover for some reason, so they wrote it in that I'm recording a thing.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, I was maybe my least favorite part of the episode.
It reminded me a lot
so
of Eternal Yapth, where Batman is experimenting with Ivy's green cookie juices and whatever, and he's like, I am now exposing human plasma to the thing, or what, like, it was like, okay, I guess we need the explanation of what you're doing for some reason. But yeah,
I'm gonna start like texting you like voice memos and just be like, James, it is Brian, and I am curious about what time we will be podcasting tonight.
I am holding the microphone button on my phone. It is recording my voice at this time.
Oh my God. Okay, quick aside. I finally watched American Psycho.
For the first
Holy
time?
shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
It is very good. Yeah.
It is so, and that is just exactly how what's his name talks the whole time.
Oh, yeah, Christian Bale guy. Yeah,
Christian Bale. Also,
Whatever his name
he's
is.
not
Yeah.
American?
No.
What the fuck?
He's been British this whole time. I
What
have
an
a
asshole.
Good, quick American Psycho story is I watched it with my sister, and we got all the way through the movie, and I was like, what'd you think? She was like, it was good, but like, I thought there was like a part with a shower and a stabbing in the shower and stuff. I was just
like,
waiting
no,
for that to
that's
happen. That's just
Psycho.
normal ass Psycho. Yeah. That's the name of that movie. Anyway, what keeps happening in this episode? There's a space, there's space, the final frontier.
Clark is.
These are the voyages of Clark Kent without superpowers and rocket boots.
When he's not wearing his Superman regular outfit, he's just Clark Kent in space outfit. So he's flying in his space dick. And
if a Superman isn't wearing his suit, does he be Superman?
is he still super? Huh? Riddle that one, fools.
Oh my God, Edward Nygma.
So Superman's not wearing his outfit.
Riddle me this, Superman. Are you still Superman if you're not wearing clothes? Yeah, I think so. Punches his face off.
Yes. So Clark Kent in space outfit
God damn it, we're
goes
still at this point, yeah.
down into an underground lair after seeing a destroyed city and gets a hologram projection, which Brian has all sorts of questions about, that gives the quick synopsis of how this planet was destroyed because
I am
Krypton
Kala
exploded.
Inze. Here is the synopsis. He's like, what the fuck does that mean?
No, you know, he's a long-time listener and he's just like, fuck yeah, synopsis, I'm here for it.
If you're wondering what you just watched, take a listen to the synopsis. The shortened summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
So we get like a hologram projection of this chick saying that the Krypton blew up, it fucked up their planet, knocked that out of orbit, like killed everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty
Buildings
much.
fell on the guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was like, this episode was kind of brutal. Anyway, and she's like, yeah, like froze me and the family. We're like the last, somebody please help us. We Walt Disney'd ourselves. And
not the only Disney thing in this episode.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm dragging here. I'll speed up later. I'm going to hit certain parts.
Detailed part anyway.
This is important. This is important. So basically, the family's frozen, but Clark Kent looks over.
Like Disney. Yes.
They're like Disney frozen, and one of them has an icicle coming out of his chest, and the other two are just frozen in very gruesome background painting kind of ways.
Yes.
And Clark Kent in super space outfit says, "Oh no, I am too late.
Yeah,
and
he
then
does.
he
When he
says,
said that, I'm too late. I thought like, you're not recording anymore. You don't have to narrate what's going on. You can just look sad.
and then he looks up and says, "Oh, maybe I'm not." And animated Supergirl is sitting frozen in her non-background painting capsule unit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Oh no, the future. We
See what I'm drinking, by the way?
Spindrift.
It's the official drink of the podcast.
Yeah, other than Yop, the actual. I mean, we can call it that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we fast forward, and Clark has dropped Supergirl Kara at Kara.
I think it's both. I think it's interchangeable. I think different characters say different things, because as soon as he said Kara, this thing, I thought like, I think in Justice League they say Kara, but I won't get there. Like, I was just thinking, like, I don't think that's consistent, but that's interesting.
Cool. Superman drops Supergirl to be at his parents' house, and oh god, okay, it's not important, but we get a similar visual callback to Clark learning to fly around the farm, blah blah blah. But we get the Supergirl version, and she is just Disney princessing, flying through the sky. And
she's animated on ones, I think, there for a bit, like super smooth, like flying with geese. I was like, why did you choose geese? But
they use that like that. There's like 2 seconds of footage of her flying next to a goose, and they stretch it to be like 8 seconds. Yeah, and her hair is like vibrating. Oh god!
I was going the whole time that was happening, and you weren't looking at all. I'm like, how long do I have to do this before Brian looks at me? Oh my god,
Jamie, I'm trying to watch the episode. This is educational.
Sorry. Yeah, all right.
You should be proud.
Yeah, I was.
Come on.
I noticed.
So
Supergirl's vibrating in the sky, and then
Supergirl's. So they're at like the dinner table, and she's like talking with the fam, and Superman's like, oh, Inner Gang's fucking shit up, and she's like, who's Inner Gang? And he's like, don't worry about it.
It's
you just stay here in Kansas. Yeah. I gotta go fight people. And she's like, I want to fight. And he's like, nuh-uh. And then we're gonna fast forward to Metropolis, and
Brian, keep talking. I'm gonna open my window because it's hot as fuck in here.
Okay. I actually need your help remembering like the order here. Okay, so what like happens? He's back, and
Superman is in Metropolis, and guys blow up the Tech Expo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, and we see the tech booth again.
Metropolis version of the Joker thing. Yeah, there's a tech booth, just like in Joker's Millions. Continuity.
Yeah, not like something. A tech booth like at a theater, but like
the company Tech, TEK.
Has a booth at a convention. The tech booth.
The F-level continuity of DCAU stuff.
I'm gonna put this at F tier. It's kind of unimportant, but you might notice it's there. I should start a channel called Watchtower Database and talk about this sort of bullshit. Yeah. They should make shortest video ever. Just make a YouTube short or TikTok or whatever.
A tech talk, you might say.
Oh my god! Okay, so they're all fucking shit up, and we get back to the Daily Planet, and Clark is like, I'm a nerd. And then Supergirl's like, hi, I'm somebody.
That's what he's always saying.
I'm someone who's undercover. And Clark is like, get the fuck out of here. And she's like, a tee-hee. And then Inner Gang is fucking shit up. And Jimmy's like, I could write shit about shit. And she's like, let's hold hands together and go fuck together fuck shit up together. That's what I meant to say.
That's what you meant. Yeah, well, not the horniest podcast you've heard.
No. Superman is totally piloting a space dick, though.
Yeah, you said, nice pee-pee hole or something. He's got a nice
pee hole on the end of his spaceship. I'm sorry. You can edit that out. You can beep that if you want.
The space urethra is collecting many pieces of Krypton on accident. Kryptonite.
Man, it's hard to keep when you get like 2 episodes in. It's kind of hard to keep the continuity.
Keep track of what happened. They go
not continuity, but
tell me when you need help and I'll jump in. I don't know.
Jump in. Give me a break here.
Okay. Jimmy and Kara go to the rec center later known as the Rector, because Sen fell off when it exploded or something. The Hobbs Bay Rec Center, and there's a bunch of teenagers there that aren't in blue suits, and 2 blue suit teenagers walk in, and I thought to myself, do they know what the blue suit means, or are they also blue suits, or are they just random teenagers and they don't know what's going on? But then
one of them sounds exactly like Zuko.
Yeah,
I know this voice. I'm going to be so pissed when you say
we'll
it.
Get there. An elderly woman walks in and says, "Oh, I'm Granny. Hello, my children." And you just, these are the moments that I live for with the podcast, where I get to look at your face as you go. You make the most what the fuck kind of face as she walked in and started talking. And you said, "That's not a woman talking, right?" And I said, "No."
Okay, let me. I think that could be kind of misconstrued in a different way. Like John Cleese in Over the Garden Wall,
right?
Playing
it'll make sense
Auntie
in
Whispers
and the cast. Yeah.
Like I love this sort of thing, but like this chick shows up and she's like, "Hey, I'm Granny. Totally a woman here. You kids are gonna do what I say. Is that all right? Granny, look at me. I'm a lady. I got lipstick on and pointy fingernails."
Brian, you're being so mean and bad. This podcast is getting canceled.
I know. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who plays it. It was just kind of like, it was a bit surprising. If it was now, if it was a show produced anytime after like 2018,
because it's 1998, you grew more confused. Yeah, exactly.
It's a timely thing. Anyway, I'm getting canceled. That's why I quit social media early.
You can't cancel me if I'm not here. Then what happens? Supergirl rips her shirt off, and there's another shirt underneath, and she says, "I'm super." Jimmy says, "Supergirl."
She says, "Don't call me Supergirl. I'm the Metropolis Kid."
You had to bring that up before your girlfriend was asking why is it Wonder Woman and not Superwoman, and then I said, I don't know, because she's not associated with Superman directly, and then you led into like, there is a Superboy. I know this because Max Landis. Like that's your entire like Superman mythos knowledge comes from a 45-minute YouTube video of a guy talking.
It's like 25, and it's about a comic, so it's fine. Yeah. No, hold on.
They
2
didn't
versions. 45 minutes.
There's one of Max Landis himself sitting there talking. I think that one's like 45 minutes. And then there's one where they reenact, like in costumes and stuff, what he's saying.
That's the one with like Elijah Wood in it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. Yeah, the one I watch is on the channel Adjacent TV, and it's 16 minutes and 57 seconds long. Oh, hell yeah.
I did that wing. Yeah.
Okay, so where the fuck? Let's wrap this up.
Supergirl, and then other ladies come through with boob dots, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna fuck you up."
Oh my god,
and
the furry ladies.
The 3 ladies.
I think they call it the granny called them the furries.
The female furries. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them is like female Wolverine. One of them's the big boot, and the other one is Electric Girl. By the way, here are my butts and bits and boobs.
Butts and bits.
And boobs.
That's her name. Yeah. I had a binder as a child that was a printout of every page of the official Batman Superman website that had like every character biography and all this stuff. And there was some point where I was showing my grandma because I, for some reason, thought she'd be interested in that. She definitely wasn't. And I got to the Mad Harriet page. That's the like green-haired Wolverine girl. And she has like tribal tattoos or something all over her, like these like weird dots and lines and stuff. She has like black diagonal, like jagged zigzag lines over her actual boobs, but then 2 dots above those.
She's got 2 like, high nipples.
Yeah, she's like, here's where my nipples. I'm from space, so my nipples are up here. Dots on her. My window's open. But my grandma immediately was just like, oh, this is not for me because of the nipple dots. Like she was just really like offended by that.
She was a fine Christian woman, and you ruined her.
She was, but then apparently didn't care care about Lashina, who had, here are where my boobs are, here's where my vagina is. Like circles, like a YouTube thumbnail with arrows pointing.
There's just some like neon, like blinking arrows pointing at her boobs.
Yeah. If you were wondering, they're right here. And then there's also Stampa. She's also there. She doesn't have boob stuff.
Can we be real for a second?
Mm-hmm.
She's the lesbian of the group.
Oh yeah, totally. It's weird because
there's a YouTube maker that I follow. Her name is Laura Kampf. I would highly recommend everybody watch her. And she's a very outspoken lesbian, and that was kind of not that she looks like her at all, but I don't know. It's just like that's a super villain that I think
she has
Laura
like
Kampf
a Rosie O'Donnell sounding voice and stuff like that, so it was easy to do.
She's just she's a little butch, and she's like, my superpower is stomping, and you're just kind of like, yeah, I know what you guys were going for.
I step on you, yeah. Anyway, what do these characters do? What happens?
They fight.
Yeah,
they fight Supergirl.
They beat up Superman.
And Superman, well, they're fighting Supergirl. Supergirl's actually doing pretty good. Superman comes in, gets his ass kicked, and then they garage door open the like boom tube or whatever.
Have any of you girls seen my garage door opener? And they go, no,
that's all
I
that
have
it
mine,
is.
though.
That's all that it is.
Have you seen my cassette Walkman? Someone else must have one.
So they beat up Superman and they take him to my brain is wanting to say Acropolis.
Acropolis now.
Yeah, apocalypse.
There you go.
That doesn't feel right.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
Sorry, speaking of strokes, I don't know.
Acropolis that's what it is now.
And they're like, we're gonna bring a gift to Darkseid, and then Supergirl's like, oh no. Oh wait! I found the garage door opener, and she opens the door,
punches through the floor, and grabs.
She does. She's kind of aggressive. She punches through the floor, and she gets the other garage door opener, and then she goes to Acropolis, and then she's like, "No dogs! I'm gonna hide." These open mouth bee old men who kind of remind me Brian of bees for some reason.
It's like, what are you talking about? Oh, the parademons. Okay,
chase her into
open mouth bee old men. Attack!
Just Google it. What are they actually called?
The subtitle.
Open mouth bee old men.
They're called parademons.
Yeah. For all you who don't know, I guess Kimmy, look up parademons.
You called them
S-TAS.
clay faces last time.
Yeah, whatever. I can be creative.
Oh, and they were guys writing Max and DVD and Blu-rays.
Yeah. That went by so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Even though canonically, yes, those were my dogs. Who chased a rat instead of Supergirl.
Yeah, big space rat. Yeah.
So Supergirl's like, oh no, I got to get away from the big open mouth old bee men thing. And she Tasmanian devils
them,
and incinerates 3 of them. And she's like, yes, good job, me. I just murdered 3 people.
Yeah, she dreidels in the sky. And then it cuts to the parademons.
Dreidel in the sky with murder.
Oh, we were doing 2 different songs. She does that, and then it cuts to the parademons going like, what is she doing? And you and I were both going, what is she doing? And then it cuts back to the same shot of her spinning, and then the fire just onto them, and they incinerate into nothing. And she goes, yes, I'm such a good person. What?
It's like killing 3 old men open mouth bees.
Bees. It's okay.
Anyway, and then she's like, boy, I gotta take a breather now. Like she like stops. She's like completely fine, like not winded, and then she stops and is like, oh my god, I gotta take a breather.
Column for a second.
Yeah. And then lucky timing, she sees Superman and he's all chained up, and the furries are like, we're gonna deliver Superman to Darkseid, and then they do, and then Supergirl's like, nah. And also Darkseid, the old lady is building a super magnet that's going to pull a meteor, comet, whatever, to Earth and kill it. And then Supergirl's like, no. And they fight, and then they bust Superman out in garage door opener, and then the furries gang up on Granny.
Darkseid says, there is no escape. And then they escape.
Yeah. And he's like, Also, really anticlimactic he's like, I'm going to blast you with my eye beams. And it kind of like slaps their butts a little bit as they fly through the garage door.
A handful of embers at them or something.
And they kind of get a like, ooh,
a cough of his zigzag eyeballs.
yeah. And just kind of like, oh, and they like fly through the opening. And then 3 guys get really pervy on Supergirl. The end.
They don't, nothing about the comet. They just leave and then there's
sorry. Superman takes half of a comet and pushes it out to space. Supergirl punches through the other half of the comet and incinerates it. And then she falls to Earth slow enough for Superman to catch her. The end.
And then 3 guys get pervy on Supergirl in the end. Yeah.
And Jimmy writes an article.
He did. He got the front page. What a guy. Lois Lane, like, stick to the dark room. And I looked at you.
Yeah. There was some terminology. There's some verbiage in here. We had Superman saying something about like a bootlicker.
Oh, yeah. And Granny called him Monkey Boy and Big Meatloaf or something like that. I was just imagining the room of these like 5 writers coming up with.
We got to get something real.
Things.
We need a zinger. What kind of zinger? You got any ideas?
Monkey tits. Hey, come over here.
Hey, what are we having for lunch today, everyone? I don't know, meatloaf? Oh, that'd be a good insult.
WB Animation cafeteria today. There's boots. Meatloaf. Okay, official synopses.
Yeah, get it.
While Superman is exploring the remains of his homeworld of Krypton, he finds a teenage girl who is the last survivor of Argos, a sister planet of Krypton. He brings her to Earth, where she gains superpowers like Superman's. Wanting to prove herself, she single-handedly takes on Granny Goodness and the rejuvenated Intergang. When Granny... Oh, that's part 1.
That is a Primus album title if I've ever heard one.
Granny Goodness is rejuvenated Intergang.
Yes. Go read the albums and tell me I'm wrong.
Part 2 is when Granny Goodness calls upon her female Furies from Apocalypse for help.
Oh, Furies! Oh my gosh.
I heard a different word. Superman comes to his cousins, in quotes, aid. When the Furies capture Superman and take him to Apocalypse, it is up to Supergirl to rescue him. They didn't say anything about the comet either.
Nope.
And then that's it.
Good.
Granny. Oh my God. I do have, I'm going to throw this in early this time because it felt a little bit much after Tribs before, but I have Supergirl and Granny Goodness's like comic book origin shit to share with you.
Yeah,
it's very different. So the Supergirl in this episode has like a completely original origin to this universe. Like this, normally she is also from Krypton and was also sent off in a rocket by her parents, like exact same origin or whatever. But then her rocket, instead of going through whatever wormhole brings him to Earth as a baby, she gets like stuck in like a vortex of some kind for a bunch of time and she's frozen in the rocket. So she was already a teenager when she got rocketed away. But then by the time she actually pops out on Earth, Superman's, 30 something or whatever. And she's like, oh, I was supposed to come here to make sure you didn't die as a baby, but now you're already a man and I'm here too. So I guess I'll just be a superhero also. And that's like,
they're the same age.
Thing. Like in that scenario, Supergirl's like technically older, like biologically, but she still appears younger because she's
he's got more life experience.
And I guess that's kind of still the same in this though, that she's older than him because she was frozen as a teenager when Krypton exploded or whatever. But yeah, I have here that in the STAS soundtrack liner notes provided by Ryan Hipp. Thank you, Ryan Hipp. The showrunner's original intention was to follow this comic origin of the character, but DC at the time was insistent that Kal-El be the last survivor of Krypton. Supergirl was renamed Kara Inze. She was originally Kara Zor-El, like his actual cousin. And her birthplace of Argo was modified from a Kryptonian city to a sister planet that was devastated when Krypton was exploded. Or was destroyed. Was exploded. That's a sentence. I don't know. I've always thought this was a much more interesting thing for him to actually like stumble upon her, and her like gruesome family spiky deaths, and she's okay, like she's barely hanging on or whatever.
Yeah, that was I like when they get a little adult. Because that was like, those frozen people were like zombie looking. Like they were in bad shape.
Especially right after you saw like, here's a normal looking woman. We're right over there. Go help us. What?
Teacher, I got a question.
Raising hand. Yeah.
Yes. That's me. My name is Raising Hand.
Yes, you raising hand.
Yeah, I see your hand is up.
I see you've Brian'd in the back there. To Brian.
All right, so in the video playback thing, the like hologram, whatever, she's like, 5 years ago, our planet, blah, 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 blah. Was that meant to be 5 years ago canonically, or is it 5 years ago upon the time of her recording the message?
That.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of, it seemed a little ambiguous.
So we'll get to, I might as well just mention this now, is like, there is a tie-in comic to this show called Superman Adventures, and it has an issue that has like basically a bunch of deleted scenes. Oh man, it has it's basically like a bunch of deleted scenes from. Oh my god, I hit it too fast. Anyway, it's a bunch of deleted scenes from this episode essentially, and it starts off with her as like a preteen, 10 years old, something like that. And then she is like having like a Zoom call with a friend of hers on Krypton, like she's on the other planet. And then all of a sudden the friend is just like, "Hey, what's going on?" and explodes, like just the feed goes away. And then they realize that Krypton is exploding, so they're like, "We gotta get to the bunker or whatever." And then they have to just like survive in there in this like Arctic, like, wasteland or whatever for 5 years. And then she is put in the pod thing. And it also has a scene of her being brought to Star Labs after Superman finds her, and they like wake her up and she's freaking out and he has to calm her down and all this stuff. So like the stuff that's all missing from the episode. But I don't know if it was like for time's sake or what, but it's just... They just had to put it in a comic instead of this. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, and I really liked that was like pretty emotional. I'm sorry, what was the name of the scientist who was giving the synopsis?
It's her mom, Kala Inze. Yeah.
Okay, that's the one.
Yeah.
Her like tearing up and being like, we're like the last 4 of our people, and please somebody help. So that was hardcore as hell.
I do like that Superman walked in and stood on the floor, and then the floor lit up, and then everything started lighting up, and you went, "Run!" Like, you just like expect the shiny thing in the room is getting brighter and everything's lighting up, and like,
it's like you hear like
Brainiac or something, then
you hear like a ooh, kind of like winding up, and it's just like you don't know what that is, dude.
Yeah, you gotta leave. You don't have superpowers right now. You're just like man in a spacesuit
with jetpack boots, because that caught me off guard too.
Yeah.
Also, why was the doll frozen in the iceberg?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that they showed the doll from behind frozen in ice, and we both thought like, "Oh my god, a child!" And then it was just a doll, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone threw the doll, and then Krypton exploded, and then the ice whatever, and in midair it just froze there. Mr. Freeze shot it. I don't know.
Good.
He was there on Argos. That's where Mr. Freeze is from. That's where the polar bears came from. We figured it out.
Oh my gosh.
I also have Granny Goodness's origin real quick.
Give it to me real quick.
Granny Goodness. Do you remember in the in Apocalypse Now Part 2 when all the new Genesis guys show up and there's a panning shot of them all just floating there like, Darkseid, you're not allowed to be here.
Don't do stuff. Which they reference in this episode too, being like, Darkseid, if you fuck up the world, it's going to be in a breach of your contract. And
remember when you already breached it by killing Dan Turpin? Don't do it again.
I'm sorry, who?
Oh, sorry, Dick Turnip.
Oh, thank you.
The canonical character, yeah. They're in that shot you had mentioned, like, one of those guys looks like Vision from from Marvel stuff. Mr. Miracle was the name of that guy.
Miracle Mike,
Granny Goodness is tied into him. She first appeared in Mr. Miracle number 2, 1971, where she operated apocalyptian machinery from inside an old mansion, attempting to kill Mr. Miracle, who had previously escaped from her torture chamber on Apocalypse, the X-Pit. Granny recreates the X-Pit inside this mansion.
Like X-Men?
Sure. It is X-Pit. Yeah. A series of labyrinthian traps and lures in Mr. Miracle and his assistant Oberon, where they face fire, electricity, and quicksand.
Mr.
Mr.
Oberon's
Miracle,
Tavern?
Oh, I don't know. Is that a thing?
Nobody listening to this podcast, except for Kimmy, probably is going to be interested to know the etymology, but there was a tavern in Ashland called Oberon's Tavern.
Oh, okay. We'll see Oberon way longer from now, but yeah.
Oh, it's moved that person by that name, I believe, like kind of like a stage name thing. Now operates a thing in Big Bus, which, by the way, we got to see Big Bus on a map. Kind of. Oh yeah, it was covered by a cloud.
When Al Roker was pointing out all the weather.
Yeah, and it was just like and you could just see Oregon there, and where Big Bus is covered with a cloud. So there you go.
It all made sense. It was true. They knew. Oh, that's Big Bus over there. It's clouds.
Yeah, clouds.
She lures in Mr. Miracle and Oberon. They face fire, electricity, and quicksand while sitting on a rocking chair. Granny Goodness is shocked by the reveal that Mr. Miracle and Oberon have escaped as they used a mother box, that's the garage door opener, to hack into the X-Pit's controller, a machine called I've put
Oberon.
Overland. That's not right. What the fuck is his name? Why did I write that? Granny Goodness Overlord. Why did I write Overland? What the fuck? I'm an idiot.
Correct.
Anyway, yeah, maybe. And fry his circuits. Mr. Miracle then shouts, "Dry up and blow away, Granny Goodness," and flies away on those little foot disc things you hate so much.
Awesome. Which we did get to see with Phil and Lil stealing a big wooden crate full of IBM computers from 1995.
Yeah, when they let go, like, toss it or whatever, or, and then she throws the crate, and I said, like, not the microwaves, but because they were like kind of weirdly shaped, but in the next shot they were very clearly like computers.
Yeah.
Just very light gray, like they would have been, as was the style.
Bring it back.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of my little origin shits.
Great.
I didn't hate this episode. We finished part 1 and we took a little tiny break because Alora was going to come home and dogs were going to bark. And so we didn't want to have to pause and all this stuff. And you were kind of telling me how you were feeling so far about it. And I was like, I don't actually really remember what happens in part 2. And you're like, that's not a good sign. But I don't think it actually went too downhill. It was just, it kind of roller coastered a little bit in part 1 and then just kind of stayed pretty average for part 2, I think.
Agreed.
Didn't wow me ever in part 2.
Yeah, I was pretty enthralled in part 1. Part 2 it was just a little more of like, okay, well, now's the action. They got Superman. What's going to happen?
The punching has to happen. Yeah.
The punching has to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, part 1 had like this previously unrevealed mysterious thing that also happened at the same time. How cool. Oh my God, how tragic. Oh, this thing. Oh, that's so neat. Oh, Disney princess. And then like all the coming to Metropolis and don't go over here. I'm going to go over here anyway and all this stuff. But then, once they get to like, here are my ladies and we're going to fight, then that's what it is for like the entirety of part 2 is just a bunch of fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you feel about Darkseid in this episode? Are you now really into Darkseid?
No, pretty unremarkable.
He was the shittiest he has been, I think, in this episode.
Oh, yeah. He was like, he did one good like eye blast or whatever to Supergirl, and that's it.
Yeah.
And she was fine. She just needed 10 seconds to recover.
It's like, ow, that kind of hurt me. I think Apocalypse Now at least did a good job of playing him off as like a menacing, potential, really threatening thing.
Yeah.
That didn't necessarily pay off, but it was at least like, oh my God, something bad might happen. And this one, he just sits in a chair and goes, hey, did you do the thing?
He seemed depressed.
And they're like, oh, great, Darkseid. Yeah. He's, oh man, I can't. I mean, he was well drawn, I guess. The whole episode was kind of back and forth on whether it was like the Disney princess thing and the light shows in various spaces were like good, but
yeah, I'm at the point where like the very beginning of the episode, it was like, oh, the art's like pretty good on this. You know, I'm appreciating all this stuff.
The big planet and space dust and stuff.
Everything. It was pretty good. And then we got to like the Disney princessing. And for me, okay, I got to use the analogy of like theater performances.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't notice like the lighting design in a show, like the lighting designer has done a good job. Like you should be able to be immersed and not be like, oh, why is that light green? Oh, why is that light red? Blah, 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 blah. So
you're thinking too hard about it.
Yeah. So even though the Disney princess thing, like the animation was excellent, it kind of pulled me out of it because it was so different from the rest of it. Like it might as well have been CGI. Like it was that polarizing that I kind of like, again, appreciate, but
I wonder if that was kind of like a conscious choice to make it sort of Disney princessy, because for one, that shot there is definitely very like, I don't know, Sleeping Beauty, Belle kind of thing of just like...
Yeah, when Belle was flying through the air with the ducks.
Yeah, when Belle was flying through the air with the ducks.
Yeah.
They're geese, I think. I don't know. But I really wanted her to like, hello, geese, like she does.
Yeah.
And then just go... Get out of my face. Like,
have you ever met a goose? They're fucking angry.
They really are. But then there's also like the shot at the very end where the camera's kind of swooping around whatever like building top she's standing on, and a couple other moments that are meant to be very like, look at this girl, it's girl this time. Like there was just a lot of that kind of thing. The flying through the air over Smallville scene also has always bothered me, that the first shot we see of that, she's flying like out of the sun, like she's obscured by the sun and coming toward camera. Mm-hmm. And her hair is like flapping in the wind and all this stuff. And there is like a
single strand of hair.
Yeah, her
1
hair
foot
spike,
wide.
Yeah, her hair rectangle. But there's an attempt to do some kind of glow effect around her where like there's like a mask over the top of it that is... she's cut out of that mask and everything else is like lit up yellow or something like that. But it's somehow, I don't know how they would have done this, because you're having to physically do this like frame by frame, but it's off by like 1 frame. So whenever her hair switches from like this pose to this pose, the light glow stays on the previous hair cutout of nothing now. And then it switches the next frame to where her hair is like catches up. And then it does that again throughout the whole shot. Like it's just constantly trying to catch up. And it's always like, God damn it. How did you do that? Like, come on, Dan. No, I'm just kidding. I think I did mention that to him once.
I didn't notice.
Yeah,
again, I'm sure it's just a holdover from like the analog days.
Yeah.
Wow, good eye.
It just feels like someone had to stare at that and go, hey, this doesn't line up with the same shape. Oh well, and just keep going.
I mean, I get it. Like, I think if you're looking at, you know, you have 8,000 photos to take that day or whatever.
This is not worth it. I'll just go.
You know, and they're like asking you to do another thing, or now it's going to add more time to your day or something. Like, I guess I can understand how it would happen. But, you know, because I think you and I are thinking about it from the same perspective of like, you know, someone was sitting there and they had this transparency and they didn't bother lighting it up perfectly. Yeah. But like, I think there's those like pegs that the cells sit on. So it's probably like, well, they animated it wrong. We just put it on the thing.
I guess, I have to do what the number says. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. Yeah. Something like that. What did you think of how kind of teenager-y the episode felt? Like it felt like more aimed at children, I feel like, than the typical episode.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Like, why not have that breadth of trying to reach, like, not to say they're like doing it to like reach more people, but like tell more people's stories, tell different types of people's stories. Like, why the hell not?
I mean, I guess if she's like 16 or whatever, that it makes sense to have the whole thing be kind of, I almost wish they'd leaned more into the, like, this is a problem that only a teenager can solve or something. Like she needs to get into some kind of, I don't know, club or something that like adults aren't allowed to be in or something. Like, I can't think of the exact thing I'm thinking of, but like Superman in this scenario only isn't there because he doesn't know what's going on. He's not paying attention. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, he can show up at any time, but he just doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, that was like Jimmy Olsen doing the whole, like, this coin that dropped on the crime scene. And he's like, oh, it's
the V card, as you called it.
Yeah. She dropped her
Horniest
V card.
podcast. Yeah. Vote for us in the horniest podcast competition.
Oh my God. We have nothing on single-handedly Beth May from Dungeons and Daddies. Holy shit. She's just like 1,000% every day.
We're not the horniest podcast in general by far.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, like, so he goes to like the arcade, and that's kind of one of those, like, generally like a younger person's thing or whatever. But I kind of like it that it wasn't pandering in that way of like, oh, you're the short person, I can't fit through the small hole, so you got to do it.
Okay,
like,
I guess that's true.
Why not like
have
just have them?
that,
have them take over the adult thing to show their adultness rather than
they can just do it. Anybody can do a thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you find Supergirl annoying or endearing? A little bit of both.
Probably more annoying, like leaning annoying, but fairly central.
Yeah, I mean, there were moments where it was like, you didn't have to say that or whatever.
I just incinerated 3 people.
Yeah, go me. High fives herself.
Yeah.
She has her hands up like this every time.
Yeah. I bet she could hold her arms up for more than 5 minutes.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. I did like that stuff with the like kind of like fourth wall breaking of, you saw through my disguise kind of stuff. Like, you're just wearing glasses like he is or whatever. At least she's wearing a wig also.
Right.
Like, Superman doesn't bother to wear like blonde hair or something. I don't know. It was fine. I think it was better than I remembered it being, because I was telling you that, like, I think the reason I didn't remember it much was that I don't revisit it often, because in her future appearances, it's just like, I don't need to remember how she got here. She's just here. Why? Whatever.
I appreciate a lot about this episode. I prefer part 1 because of the story. I'm really glad they made it a 2-parter, because if you made just a 1 episode and you tried to include all the information for the first half, that would be way too rushed through. So I'm glad they had that time to tell the story, and then episode 2 could just be the bang bang shoot 'em up kind of.
I mean, I noticed when we got to the scene of her showing up at the Daily Planet, I like moved my mouse and saw we're over halfway through the episode. Like, what the hell? Like, how not a lot has happened, but because it's the 2-parter, they have like more time for Superman finding Supergirl. And if this was 1 part, would have been the first like 2 minutes. Yeah. And he just like, would stumble on a floating pod in space or something that would be like a really quick, like, there's a girl in here, cut to Starlight, cut to the Kent farm immediately or whatever. So yeah,
I think they'd rush through even more. It'd be like, they find her in space. There's a girl, put her on the planet. Wow, I'm feeling stronger than I used to. Oh, the Earth's yellow sun. Uh-oh, intergang. Quick, let's fight. Put on this fucking mini skirt and crop top. Alora had comments about that.
and midriff t-shirt and gloves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that 90s or is that just weird?
That's 90s. That's definitely 90s. Headband.
Yeah, Supergirl does wear a headband in the 80s comics a lot. So, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I needed her to wear a mini skirt.
Yeah.
But I guess
Batgirl
the alternate
doesn't wear like a skirt or like nylon leggings or something because a girl.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it probably wouldn't have been any better if she was wearing like blue onesie girl.
Yeah.
Lil
just wearing a small Superman outfit.
Like
oh.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It seems like this is a little more DIY. Like, she went to a print shop and she's like, can you put the Superman logo on this t-shirt for me?
I mean, yeah, I guess it calls into question if did she like make that on the Kent farm and just she had it under her clothes the entire time, Or did she find that somewhere?
It was the blanket that she was wrapped in as a baby.
Yeah, of course. It was a blue skirt that they wrapped her in when they put her in the pod. Yeah.
Okay, so she wasn't in that outfit. It wasn't like white and blue, I don't think, or we couldn't tell because the pod that she was in colored in a different way.
No. Yeah.
But is she going to have the same, like, no. Okay, I have questions. I have questions.
Yeah, I have maybe
here. I have
answers.
questions. Okay, Superman, baby blanket, his outfit, indestructible.
Yeah.
You had that TikTok of the explosion thing and him sitting there. It was hilarious.
Thank you.
Supergirl just has... Well, I'm sorry, I got way too close to the mic there.
Supergirl, on the other hand. Let me tell you.
Supergirl is in normal ass clothes. So how did she manage to survive
I don't know.
a comet incinerating and exploding?
Darkseid's eye lasers and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, obviously, they would not do this, but if he just went like, what a peon or whatever, he's like, get out of here, and then her clothes just go, she's just lying there, and Superman goes, oh, God, we need to get you out of here. This is not okay. We can't be doing this.
Yeah, it's probably better that they didn't do that, but I would like to point out the continuity issue with that. Continue.
Have now. Thank you. I'll tell you the cast of this episode. How about?
Tell me the cast of this episode. How about?
Okay. Who do you think Tim Daly played?
Chrono Trigger?
Granny goodness, you were close.
Damn it.
As Superman / Clark Kent. He was Clark Kent. Dana Delaney as Lois Lane. Nicole Tom as Kara Kara / Supergirl. She plays one of the daughters, Rice, in Beethoven's Second, and the Beethoven animated series that I didn't know existed that I'm really mad about.
Wowzers.
And her other main big thing was she was Maggie Sheffield, one of the daughters in The Nanny.
Oh, okay.
David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen. Mike Farrell as Jonathan Kent. Shelley Fabares as Martha Kent. Carolyn Seymour as Kala Inze, the mom hologram lady. She was Eleanor Romy in Congo, Eve in Mr. Mom, Elder God number 2 in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, that one's for you, Mike.
A bunch of other one-off minor characters throughout Doctor Who. There were too many to list, and they were all different names, so I just didn't list them.
Okay,
sorry.
fair.
Sorry, Kyle. By the way, Kyle told me that out of his own vanity, whenever there's a new episode, he will search the transcript for the word Kyle before, so he can skip to that part and see what we said about him, and then he'll listen to the full episode. So we just have to kind of throw in a Kyle every once in a while, you know?
Oh, I love that. We should just have a timer.
Yeah. 10 minutes have passed. Kyle.
Kyle o'clock.
It's Kyle o'clock somewhere. She was also
to put that on a t-shirt.
Dr. Chakwas in the Mass Effect trilogy. Commander Torith, a Romulan in Star Trek The Next Generation. And she played a character named Polly Logan in the 1979 movie called The Bitch. So I don't know like any of those things, but Ed Asner as Granny Goodness. It was previously Roland Daggett in Batman the Animated Series, the redheaded businessman, evil business guy. He's the old man in Up, etc. Diane Michelle as Lashina, previously Candace in Two-Face and Bane, Michael Jackson's San Diego.
Got it.
Al Roker as Weatherman. He really was in this episode.
Wait, he was actually him?
It was actually Al Roker with the Hershey Kiss nipples and everything. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is his only DCAU acting credit. He mostly plays himself in movies and TV shows. He's not done a lot of other stuff.
Fucking A, that's amazing. Good for him.
Yeah. There's tribs about that we'll get to. Julia Kato as Amy. She was previously Kairi Tanaga in Day of the Samurai, which was a very unmemorable part. She was a girl in the karate place that got kidnapped by the ninja. The end.
Sick.
Scott Menville as Trouble. This is the thing you were trying to figure out. He plays Dr. Octopus in the 2017 Spider-Man animated series. Never seen it. Mm-mm. Bucky in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He has a handful of minor roles on Freakazoid. I don't know if we've gotten to any of them yet. Puff Puff and Tom Tom in Beethoven, the animated series.
God damn it.
Additional voices in the Emoji Movie. And then his 3 big notable things.
Okay, I'm waiting for this shit.
He is Red Herring in A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. Don't know if you know.
I thought you were going to say in Gone Fishing.
Oh, no. Johnny Quest in The New Adventures of Johnny Quest, 1987. So maybe you would know it. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I know the voice of Johnny Quest, but I didn't really watch that a lot.
And he is also Robin on Teen Titans. So that might be the thing clicking for you.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. And a bunch of Lego movies. Yeah.
It sounds
You said he sounded like Zuko, Dante Bosco, but he is not. But I do hear it. Like they have a very similar pitch and graveliness to their voice.
Also,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Homeboy probably wasn't voice acting in 1998.
I don't know. Maybe he was in Hook in like 1992 or something. So
wait, the guy who did the voice of Zuko?
Yeah, Dante Bosco is Rufio in Hook.
What?
You know
what?
That? Yeah, that's what. Why am I the one revealing this to you?
Because you're my movie friend.
Yeah, I guess so.
Holy shit!
Yeah, Rufio.
Oh man,
that's him. There he is.
Let's talk about a character arc.
Yeah. I need to watch Hook again. It's very good.
I also need to watch Hook again. I've been feeling
Let's
sad about Robin Williams lately.
Yeah, well, it was his birthday a couple days ago.
Whoa, that's
he
freaky.
Would have been 72, I think. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh man,
he died 10 years ago this year. That's
God,
pretty rough. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, we have Michael Ironside as Darkseid.
Thank you.
Diane Delano as Stampa. She was Devastation in Young Justice. She also played Stampa and Granny Goodness and then Lego DC Supervillains. Pantha on Teen Titans. And then her long-running thing was on Days of Our Lives, 21 episodes. She played Hilda Van Bino and Olga. So there you go. I don't know what that is. I don't know what an Olga is. Andrea Martin as Mad Harriet. She was previously Mighty Mom in Make 'Em Laugh. Joker got that lady with the broom and all that stuff. And Clyde Kusatsu as Dr. Cornell. I think that was the guy going, hey, here's the comet in the school classroom or something. He is Commander Watanabe in Midway, Admiral Nakamura in Star Trek The Next Generation, Father and Old Man on Samurai Jack, and then he also has additional voices on Avatar and Legend of Korra. Okay, here's some tribs for you. So why Al Roker is in this. This is also thanks to Ryan Hipp for providing this for me. We've had these sketches of Superman saving a falling Al Roker and flying away with him in the DCAU art style. I'll send them to you after this.
Okay.
That I've never known why they exist. I knew he was in this episode and I figured, well, maybe they just drew these for him or something like that. But this episode, Little Girl Lost, was featured on the Today Show starring Al Roker, who had been given a special cameo as the weatherman. Lolita Ritmanis in the soundtrack liners notes, she says, Al Roker had always been a big Superman fan. He decided to do a behind-the-scenes piece about Superman the Animated Series, basically following the making of an episode from start to finish. In particular, the scene where Kara flies... Yeah, exactly. In particular, the scene where Kara flies over Kansas showing off her new powers, the Disney princess scene. As part of the story, maybe it's Al Roker's fault that those frames are off by one frame.
Without a doubt.
Now you're telling this is how I put the animation together. Yeah, I just put it on the pegs and we're going to use that. As part of the story, Today sent a crew to film the recording session. They filmed the orchestra at Paramount Stage M as I was conducting and interviewed Shirley in the booth, Shirley Walker. That experience was really a wonderful highlight. So the promotional drawings were done to tie in with the Today Show and stuff like that. So, yeah, so that was just kind of a very random but cool thing, I guess. Kind of like Siskel and Ebert reviewing Mask of the Phantasm, and just Al Roker going "Hey, can I come see how you do Superman? Can you put me in the episode also? Maybe
That's
put me in the episode.
Good for him, dude.
Yeah." And he and his Hershey Kiss nipples, they get it all done.
They sure do.
No one is going to understand this trip. We talked about the Emoji Movie and Hershey Kiss nipples here in this episode of the podcast. When Kara tears off her disguise to reveal her Supergirl outfit, her gloves appear from nowhere. I don't know if I didn't
Not
notice
nowhere.
that.
She was wearing skin-toned gloves over them.
And then they Kryptonianly manifested into white gloves.
Well, she took off the skin-colored ones over the white ones.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
According to Bruce Timm on the Toon Zone forums in 2004, the design of Granny Goodness in the DCAU is based on Boris Karloff as Mother Muffin in The Mother Muffin Affair, an episode of The Girl from U.N.C.L.E. 1966. I also have a picture of this. If you just Google Boris Karloff Mother Muffin, you can see what I'm talking about.
How do you spell Karloff? Oh, Karloff.
Karl. Yeah, spell it like Karloff, yeah.
I'm sorry, muffin what?
Mother Muffin.
Mother Muffin. Oh.
So it's just him in drag in this episode for some reason, but Boris Karloff, of course, famously Frankenstein's monster in those old Frankenstein movies. The plot of using a magnet to attract a comet to Earth echoes an episode of the 1940s Fleischer Superman cartoons, The Magnetic Telescope, hence the name of the comet, Fleischer's Comet.
Oh my God.
I know. This episode won a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Music Direction and Composition.
Lolita.
Yeah, Lolita Romana says, Supergirl's theme is all about melody. I wanted her music to soar, yet have a playful quality to it. On the Apocalypse side, Ripmanis composed a twisted, menacing line for Granny Goodness and suitably ferocious music for the female furries. She also maintained continuity by weaving in not only Shirley Walker's theme for Darkseid, but material extracted from Christopher Carter's Apocalypse Now. Compositional crosstalk of this kind had been nurtured by Walker and would become second nature as the composer's partnership deepened. But in this case, Carter recalls being caught pleasantly off guard. I had no idea at the time, so it was a huge surprise when I finally heard it. She found the perfect way to bring the material into her score, which already had so much individual personality and craft, without making it seem like it was tacked on. I admire that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice anything specifically, but it was good. It was...
Yeah. Similarly, I wasn't like, I don't
listening for it as much as we should.
That's what Jordan does, okay?
Yeah, he'll have stuff to say.
Does Jordan
do
the same like Kyle thing?
Oh yeah, does he Jordan?
He looks at like a transcript.
Jordan through the Jordan transcript? Yeah.
Yeah. I just need to know if he Jordans up.
Looking back, Ripmanis holds up Kyle, Little Girl Lost, in an all-time favorite experience. It was very meaningful to me, not only because it was my first solo Emmy nomination, but because it is a score I'm deeply proud of. I absolutely loved the way the story evolved, how the episodes were drawn, acted, and edited. The music kind of wrote itself. All the A-list musicians were available for the sessions, and the end result was a really wonderful recording. So that's cool that she was
Then why is
proud
she
of it.
getting awards, and all this like...
Yeah.
The congratulations if the music wrote itself. Kyle.
Oh, yeah. What the hell? Did she just press the AI button? That's really
Yes.
disappointing, actually.
Come on, my guy.
The seemingly abandoned area of Metropolis featured in this episode is referred to in STAS production documents as Suicide Slum, which in the comics was the south side area of the city known to have a much higher crime rate. It was allegedly based on the Lower East Side of New York City, where Jack Kirby grew up. The area is never referred to by this Suicide Slum name on screen, as BSMP forbade the use of the word suicide. However, the name does appear in Lex Luthor's official STAS biography, where it stated he started life as a poor kid in poverty-stricken Suicide Slum. So it's still canon, I guess, to this, but I understand, I guess, calling it that. Like, hey, new girl, intern, let's go to the Suicide Slum. let's go to the arcade in Suicide Slum.
Also, I get the like alliteration and it sounds good and everything, but like, I mean, like, you're probably not in danger if it's Suicide Slum. If it was Homicide Slum, probably pretty concerning.
Genocide Slum.
Yeah, like
but you're gonna go there and suddenly feel really depressed. Oh no, we've entered Suicide Slum. Yeah.
This is where we put a quick call out for 988.
Yes.
You can call or text if you need any mental health. Please do that.
Please do that, Supergirl. According to writer Evan Dorkin in an interview with the World's Finest fan site, in one of the early drafts, Granny Goodness was bringing together wayward teens and training them with apocalypse technology because she was harvesting them as source material for creating new parademons. It was a riff on Paradise Island from Pinocchio, where the kids were taken in and transformed into donkeys. Here, the kids were taken to Apocalypse to be transformed into parademon troopers, old men, to bulk up Darkseid's army. It was going to be revealed that parademons were all genetically engineered beings, inhabitant slaves, captured aliens. However, one of the producers balked at the idea and asked for changes.
Okay.
I don't know if I would have liked that better or worse, because on one hand, it is extremely dark compared to the rest of the stuff going on, but on the other hand, it's like Granny and the Furies and even Darkseid in this just felt like a nothing threat. They were just there and goofy and laughable, like they were Three Stoogesing themselves into defeation at the end of the episode.
Wow, that's a word.
I just made it up.
Good job.
Thank you. So I don't know. What do you think that would have been a better like plot twist or not? Or too much?
I think it's unnecessary, but I would always like thumbs up the heavier
I guess so. Haha, we're just having a fun little teenager time. Oh my god, they're being turned into bee-men. They're monsters. Supergirl just murdered 3 of them.
Yeah, see, that's where it would take a turn where she's like, yay, me!
And then finds out.
Yeah. And then just,
oh my god. Dante Bosco, no. Why are all the parademons chanting Rufio? I don't understand. They're having a pretend food fight. Okay, I talked about the comic that with the deleted scenes and stuff. That issue also went on to be like kind of a sequel to this episode. It had like prequel stuff, and then this episode happens in the middle, and then sequel stuff. Where Granny Goodness frees Jaxer and Mala from the Phantom Zone, as well as General Zod, who are just like gonna destroy the planet or whatever. And she ends up beating them up in the Fortress of Solitude, and then tricking them into going into one of the like zoo animal places where there's a red sun, and then the zoo animal thing attacks them.
Wow.
This issue also reveals that Granny Goodness's giant white hairdo is in fact a wig, and she is bald underneath.
so just like, what's his face? The one who I was just looking at, whose name I can't, Kosov something?
Boris Karloff? Yeah.
Karloff, there you go.
Kosov.
I don't know.
Last couple of things. This episode is included as a Bruce Timm's Top Picks bonus cartoon on the Blu-ray release of Superman, Batman Apocalypse, Superman Unbound, and the Legion of Superheroes. So like 3 different times he went, yes, this one. Put it on there. But works for me. And last I've got, when Amy blows up the police vehicles, the resulting explosion is reused footage from the scene in World's Finest Part 3, where the Wayne Lex T7 blows up another droid. This is used again later on in Part 2 when Supergirl hits the Doomsday Magnet, and then finally when she collides with the Fleischer's Comet. When Granny Goodness's rod blows up in Part 1, that's one way to say it. The ensuing explosion is reused footage from a scene in My Girl, in which Mr. Elon blows a vat of hot lead off its support.
That's too much right there. You're gonna have to
this episode. Yeah.
You have to reel that in, Jamie.
I like how Supergirl punched the magnet thing, and Superman was like, "No, don't do it." And you and Allura were both like, "Why not do it? Do it!" And then he's like, "I could have used that because I'm a scientist."
He's like, "I could have found out how to reverse it." Like, bro, you had 8 seconds. Destroy the machine before it gets closer.
I also like that he goes up there. And it looks like he's just going to stop the comet all by himself. But because Supergirl's also in this episode, they have to have a smaller piece fall off of it so that she can destroy that one.
It's like when you see an adult like shoveling in a pile of dirt and they give their kid like a tiny little useless shovel. Like, here you go. You do manual labor with me, son.
Superman hands Supergirl the other N64 controller, but it's not plugged in. She just wants to participate.
Yep.
Keen effects.
The first thing I noticed was the spinning star thing on the sister planet, whatever that was called again. My bad.
Argos. Yeah.
Argyle. That was a cool glowy star thing. Acropolis.
Yeah. I think I was looking for keen things, and like the main thing that stuck out to me was when they're fighting in Darkseid's throne room or whatever, and Supergirl picks up a big column and the camera kind of like Z space backs away from her and then she hits Stompa with it. That was
There's
pretty keen.
a lot of that panning around people and like blurring the background.
Man-Bat flying over the blimp. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good, man. Kyle. Yeah, that was that. There was some good stuff other than the Disney princess thing. We don't need to talk about it. We've already talked about it.
Yeah.
Good, but like, awkward.
I do wish that some of the stuff that could have been more keen was more keen. Like I'm again just gonna do the whole if it was TMS, but there was the Darkseid's view of Earth through his little like zoom window thing.
I liked it.
What, the swirly cloud Earth that just sits there?
I mean, it was background painting, whatever. They probably should have made it look like Earth. But
I was just like a weird like marble.
Like Earth is currently covered by like at least 50 hurricanes. Like
why wasn't Al Groker pointing those out? What the hell?
Yeah. It looked like blue sky, but let me tell you, but it was cool. Like it was a cool design for like a planet. It just shouldn't have been Earth.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like the comet the whole time, like in close-ups, it at least is a big rock surrounded by just bright white, like flickering fire. But then in any distant shot, it's just the bright white flickering fire. Like that's all, like it's just like a cutout repeated 3 or 4 frames of blah, 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 of white.
Right.
And like I feel like I don't know. I just always expect that somebody would have drawn it better or like done a cooler effect, a keener effect than just that. But
somebody better would have done it better.
Yeah, somebody better would have done it better. Give it to Disney. Clearly. We don't have any CGI, so we don't get to do that.
Thank
Superman's
God.
powers. Did he do new things? No. But he was hurt by purple stuff and Granny's purple rod.
Oh,
Ed Asner's purple rod.
Oh God. Yeah, it's too good to not put in there.
That's Granny's rod. Canonically, I think it says it in the thing.
Are we? Is the bonus episode the drinking episode this year? Is that going to be us like reading the list of powers and anytime you laugh, you have to take a drink?
Yeah. Oh God, every single thing. I started writing up the Yopisode guide because I realized like, oh shit, we're almost 40 and now we're 41 through and I haven't written any of them down yet. And there was a bit, it made me think of when we were watching this, there's a bit during Last Son of Krypton when we see Krypton explode, which I think we saw the copy paste shot of that in this episode, like the exact same thing. When you're describing the episode in that podcast, you say like, and Krypton explodes, but I think some people survived. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Huh? So we're super one person survived. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying it in relation to Argyle being blown up too.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. But yeah, Supergirl somehow didn't die from that. So I feel like there was something else that, Superman went into space without his spacesuit for a second. He went up to move the meteor.
He sure did.
So he held his breath. I don't know. This episode's not canon, is all I'm saying. How strong went through 10, Superman?
I mean, not that strong most of the episode, but when it comes to pushing a comet rapidly descending through Earth's gravity,
I like how he flies up hundreds, thousands of miles into the atmosphere to push that. And Supergirl down at building height goes like, when something's about to happen, like, go up there. Like, why are you sitting down at 20 feet above sea level? Like, what are you doing?
She's only trying to save Miami.
It's like, wait, I can't breathe in space, can I? I don't know. I thought Superman was pretty weak for the majority of it. It was weird because when he shows up to fight the furries on the street, he shows up and immediately crushes a manhole cover that Stompa was throwing or something.
Yeah.
And I thought like, oh, that seems like a show of like, move out of the way, girl. I'm man. I'm here now. I'm man. I can do the thing. But then when he's on Apocalypse, I assume so that Supergirl can save the day. He just has like a cement block around his neck and he goes, I'm completely weak. I can't do anything. And I'm like, why not?
If Supergirl can punch through the wrist thing, maybe it's because, I don't know. It's
the
questioning.
rod.
It's in flux.
Yeah. I'll give him a 3 Walkman garage openers out of 10.
Because of the, most of the episode, 2 to 3, end of the episode, 8. So I'm going to give him a 6 V card in coin form out of 10.
What did Jimmy say? It's the right size, but the wrong color. And I was just like, that's what she said.
Horniest podcast.
Yeah, sure is. Where's Clayface?
He's the old B-man. Open mouth.
Again, I was going to say he was the comet. I'm coming back from the dead. And then Superman goes, fuck you. And
he's like, don't let me touch the water, though.
Yeah, please. Supergirl destroys a third of him.
Oh, God.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call. The Balderarchy.
Burp.
Granny Goodness. If she's wearing a wig. Darkseid's in this, but he didn't do shit. And Lex Luthor is still nowhere to be found for several episodes.
Okay, yeah, sure. Granny Goodness.
Okay, cool.
My goodness.
Little girl lost. Because canonically, she's wearing a wig, LOL.
Books or hip-hop?
This one's tough. Why is this one tough? Neither sound right in my head.
No. I think I'm leaning books.
I'm going to say books because comic books and graphic novels exist.
That's so true.
Books.
There wasn't much hip hop in this episode. It was chugging along, but Are you putting this on your top 10 Superman episodes?
Jamie, let me look.
Yeah. It would have to be better than the Main Man Part 2 for you.
Oh, fuck.
I think I'll read mine in reverse because I think I am putting it on there. I've got My Girl, Brave New Metropolis, Main Man Part 2, Little Piece of Homes, Ghost in the Machine, Two's a Crowd, Way of All Flesh, Last Son of Krypton Parts 10 through 30, The Late Mr. Kent, and World's Finest Parts 1 through 3. I think I'm going to put it below Main Man Part 2, above Brave New Metropolis, which kicks My Girl off the list. And we get to do Little Girl Lost Parts 1 through 2. 102.
I'm at that same problem where I'm like, why is Main Man? But I guess just because it was a fun episode.
It was. Yeah.
It wasn't like a heavy hitter. I think I'm not going to put it on the list because I think I would also put it just below. Again, it's one of those first part, way stronger.
Yeah.
Second part, the average brings it down.
I think it was better than Robin's Reckoning Part 1 was oh my God, best episode. Robin's Reckoning Part 2 was what the hell is going on? This sucks.
Yeah.
This one wasn't that big of a difference. It was just slightly less good the second half, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a fighting episode, which again is fine.
Yeah. It was the Act 3 of the Act 1 and 2 were in Part 1, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have had it written down for several episodes and forgotten to say it, but do you want to put Growing Pains on the Yop 10? We forgot whether we would do that or not.
Oh.
I think yes, but I don't know. Because somehow you have 11 on the Yop 10, on your Yop 10.
Yeah, because I'm not getting rid of Bullet for Bullock.
Oh, that's right. Bullet for Bullock always has to stay there. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll do the same thing because that's my number 10 on the Yop 10. Growing Pains.
Wait.
That's the Clayface little girl episode.
Yeah.
Little girl lost.
You said
Clayface.
Growing Pains, and I thought you were referring to this episode. I'm like, you're going to put this episode in the top? And then
No.
Remember 3 hours ago when I was asleep on the couch because I was so exhausted from today?
No, I haven't seen you while you're sleeping because you signed into Zoom.
Oh,
I'm going to put Growing Pains below Late Mr. Kent and above On Leather Wings, would you say?
Yes.
It's also above Two-Face, Heart of Ice, Almost Got Him, Ghost in the Machine, Second Chance, and Bullet for Bullock. I think I will keep Bullet for Bullock as
11?
Honorary. Always has to be there, yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Okay, hold on. I need to do this. Okay.
The old shift enter.
Yeah, you know.
Puts a Bullet for Bullock in
World's
a separated
Finest.
spot.
Riddler's Reform. Almost Got Him. It's better than Almost Got Him. It's better than Riddler's Reform.
Mm-hmm. Is it like Mr.
It's
Kent?
not as good as World's Finest.
No. You put World's Finest surprisingly low. I have it as my top best episode yet, but it's you. It's your list. I don't get to tell you. I'll just judge you. That's all.
I'm gonna put it. Whoops! I shift entered again.
The old shift enter that you didn't mean to do this time.
Growing Pains number 5. And then goodbye,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Harley's
this
Holiday.
is Growing Pains number 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8,
There's
9,
a piece of
10,
clay
11.
face coming home. Let's jive.
There you go. Okay. Wow.
All right, that
Look
was
at us go.
a decision we needed to make. Okay, the mail.
That yacht. That one small extra yacht.
Kimmy's
for the dog.
asleep.
We drop what we drop. Our weekly yacht.
Oh yeah, those.
Into the comment box.
Second, third,
There
fourth,
sure was
fifth,
a lot.
Now
sixth,
Jamie's
seventh,
mad.
Too
eighth,
bad
ninth,
we're all.
10th.
At least I am.
Shift,
Just
enter.
Dylan Paula.
A bullet for Bullock at 11th.
Shift enter. Cool. If you want to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of World's Finest Part 3, you can send a punctuated email or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com. Wait, do I have like a reverb button? No.
You're right about World's Finest being too low on my list.
You think so?
And also Robin's Reckoning. Like, I gotta rewatch these. Jamie.
We have Yop shuffles. I think that was decided. I don't know.
They're on. I'm gonna do it in I'm gonna alphabetize it, and that's gonna be my top.
Maybe
10
like
order.
after each show or something. I don't know. Please don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian. That's all I was going to say. These are comments and emails from last episode, Mean Seasons, or Do You Want to Go Watch Season Girl? Just what I wound up calling it. This is from Dylan Pollock, Little Girl Lost, or the reverse fridging of Supergirl.
It's time for the thoughts of the week from Dylan
that a
Pollock on
microwave?
Little Girl Lost Parts 1 and 2, or Deus Ex Supergirl. I really wanted Tim Daly to put on a Shatner voice. Captain's log.
Yes, we were doing
found Krypton, and it's
Damn
not
it,
good.
Dylan.
Also, it's wild that I recognized Al Roker's voice. Has there ever been another weatherman who's nearly as famous that you might recognize his voice?
Al
Also,
Caprillion.
props to whoever came up with Clark seeing right through Kara's disguise, even though she's doing more than he does because she put on glasses and a wig.
And a wig, we said
And also,
that.
James, maybe you know if these are accurate to the comic book, but the female Fury's costumes are all horrible. But let's talk about Stampa, played by Diane Delano. Has anyone ever seen more like a Bizarro version? Is she Dana Delaney's evil clone? And going back to Apocalypse, can we agree that Darkseid is the pettiest bitch after not only killing Turpin, but also just saying, well, if I can't have Earth, no one can.
Yes.
Get over yourself, girl. A okay episode. You know what's not okay? The question of the week.
Yes.
James' favorite part.
Yes.
If you're Supergirl, would you be happy to be alive or terribly, terribly depressed by the fact that everyone you've ever known is dead?
We didn't talk about this on the podcast, but we talked about it in person.
This is the podcast now.
Oh, whoops. Have I been recording this whole time?
Whoopsie.
I've been saying some pretty questionable things.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Dylan, thank you for writing in again.
As always.
Yeah, that was something that she's rescued from her icy space prison, and the next thing we see of her, she's just Disney princess, big smile, sunny day, flying around the town. Her
You're like, oh, I love being alive. I
planet
love
is
being here.
Dead. Yeah, and I get that sometimes you do have that I have another chance to be alive. I've seen it from friends who had some bad situations that they'd basically come back from the dead, and so I could kind of see that happening, but also she has seemingly no sympathy, no morose, nothing about her home.
She doesn't
planet
mention
and
them
family.
at all. I guess maybe
she's just
that would...
I'm on Earth and I'm gonna do the good thing.
I think at the end also she said like, well, Kara, you've always wanted to save the world. And you're like, you've been on the world for 5 minutes or something. Like you were very confused by that. I think she just meant, I don't know if they said stuff about this in the episode or if it's just in the the comic of deleted scenes, but there's the whole like she and her family are, going through the tundra or whatever and are like, oh God, how are we going to survive? And she's being very like, I wish I could have done something about Krypton. Like my friends are all gone and I just had to sit there and watch it happen or whatever. Mm-hmm. So now I can take that as like character motivation to be Supergirl here now that she can do something about it, but she doesn't really express that in the episode like at all.
No, and it just doesn't like her personality doesn't seem like that type.
Yeah, she's very bubbly and teenager.
Have you seen Arcane, the World of Warcraft show?
And I have seen some of it over Jessica's shoulder, but I haven't.
I wish they didn't call it like. I wish it wasn't so associated with World of Warcraft because
I don't think I even knew it was. But
that put me off. It is. It's like, and some of the characters are like canon, and some of the things like if you play the game and you know all
really cool looking.
The animation is amazing, but like there's kind of that same like without giving spoilers to anybody. There's some people in the show that have that sort of like needing to save the world sort of personality, and it like makes sense for them. Supergirl like being someone who she just doesn't seem deep enough to like have even that kind of like concept. That sounds cruel as hell, and I'm sorry about that, but like she's
I think
so
it's just
bubbly.
like missing information. Like if this had been 3 parts or something, maybe we would have gotten all of that missing stuff in the episode and had a better like maybe she's trying to fit in school or something like that she like just stuff her trying
she
to
wants
be
to be
person.
popular.
Yeah, she's Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls. As from Tip to Preakit, contemplations on Little Girl Lost, both parts. I remembered very little about this episode besides the shots of the corpses at the start, but on rewatch, I think it was enjoyable and really interesting to see. I liked all the little things we got to see fleshed out, a bit more of Smallville and Jimmy and Metropolis. Yeah, Jimmy actually got to do like anything in this episode, as well as seeing the devastation that Krypton's explosion caused on the area around it. I think Kara is a really fun character, and I enjoyed this adventure and the apocalypse stakes and new character introductions. The animation was good, though I think the action was a bit slow and lacking in areas, and I think Kara's voice actor does a great job capturing her personality. I don't know where the Supergirl gloves came from, though. I think that was a huge thing missing from this episode was the aspect of grief I expected to see from both Clark and Kara. We don't even see Kara's reaction to her family being dead or her moment of needing to adjust to all of a sudden having to go to a new planet and leave her cold, dead world behind.
It's just a little too fast.
Yeah, there's a few lines mentioning wanting to save her world and friends, but it generally felt like an emotional beat I expected to be there, but just wasn't. Overall, though, a good one. Doesn't stick with me much, but I think it brings a new aspect into the Superman universe and has a lot to like. Okay, very good. Agreed. This is from Metropolis Mayor Franklin Berkowitz. My dear Metropolanos, I have unfortunate news for our city. Despite the incredible speed in which we're able to rebuild downtown, Darkseid has attacked again, and even though we were saved by the incredible Supergirl, the brave Jimmy Olsen, and some other guy in a cape, the attack claimed a price we weren't willing to pay. I've just received a call from Dr. Science of Star Labs, who told me the tremors caused by the battle between the heroes and Darkseid's minions caused the destruction of our official Star Labs Earth globe. Dr. Science held the globe in his hand, distraught over what we lost.
Okay, what we never learned what that like air quotes earthquake was caused by.
I think it was stomping, like doing stompy things.
Because
that's what then Clark looked in the distance and then went to fight them, I guess.
But like she does stomping and like people aren't losing their footing when they're right next to her.
I don't know, man.
Why would she suddenly be like knocking globes off of podiums, several blocks away?
Reasons.
There
you go. The globe was a gift to Metropolis, fabricated in collaboration between Carl Sagan and Pablo Picasso to create a work of art that was also one of the most scientifically accurate replicas ever, thus holding immense artistic and scientific value.
Wow.
Needless to say, our cultural value as a city has taken an immense hit, but we must be strong in these hard times. As the globe was being used in a press conference to show the trajectory of a meteoroid, as such, we will consider its destruction a death in the line of duty and give it a memorial in the cop cemetery. Some
Wow.
of you will be glad to hear this has been the last straw. I have proven myself unfit to defend Metropolis from metahuman and alien threats. For that, I apologize. I'm officially dropping out of the race for re-election and announcing my party nomination for U.S. Senator. I love you too, Ezekiel. I couldn't have done this without you, you beautiful bastard. See you in Washington, losers. What could you be referencing? What a timely thing.
Not too soon or not soon enough?
We know politics in the podcast.
I mean, we should.
That damn Franklin Berkowitz. Get him out of here. Euphonium Star Damage Report from Mean Seasons. Batclaw line, brown car, red motorcycle, red car, purple car, plates and glasses, backdrop painting, tree, rock wall, another Batclaw line, spotlights and scaffolding, T-Rex robot, projector screen, chair, slide, projector.
That's not so bad.
It's not so bad. It was fine. People can recover from that. This is from Lanola Cola Tuck on the Super Cape, but we finished up a Darkseid Focus 2-parter last time. That is the last Superman thing we watched. Super thing.
Oh, wow. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Isn't this a bit of deja vu? Fuck it. Let's just rip this Band-Aid off. Parts 1 and 2 of Little Girl Lost, aka, shit, here we go again. Intergang, go! It's a Teen Titans reference, and Scott Menville is here. So our new Kryptonian superhero is a girl. There it is.
Yeah, we were waiting.
Is Granny Goodness just Sewer King, but better?
Yes.
Aside from the elements that I think Brian will hate due to recency bias, inserting Darkseid and more fourth world characters and mythos can be seen as artificially elevating the stakes of the episode, stiffness in the fight choreography, and wonky character proportions courtesy of Coco Dong Yang. And Clark coming off as a massive wimp and idiot, losing against Trouble and Amy and prioritizing Kara's well-being in the first furries fight, despite her being earth-sunned and having the same powers and endurance as him. I think this episode was all right. Introducing Kara adds another bridge to Clark's Kryptonian heritage, and Supergirl can serve as a foil to Superman in experience and how differently they use their powers, i.e. using the dreidel powers to vaporize some parademons. Kara becomes a peer to Jimmy is also a neat addition to her introduction as it moves him out of the subordinate role he typically has with Lois and Clark. Till we yap again. Thank you. Hex Lex. Wait, what do you mean Little Girl Lost isn't the Annie Clayface episode? Seriously, I was always sure that's what it was called. But I've been pretty excited for these episodes, but not even for Supergirl, to be honest. Granny Goodness is easily my favorite villain from Apocalypse. She's a great character and is by far the most effective of Darkseid's minions we've seen so far.
So what's the deal with people from Apocalypse?
What do you mean?
Look at the breadth of the type of characters we've seen.
I don't know. They're just all crazy, kooky space people.
What the fuck?
I was just trying to
those are
decide
normal
whether
people. Like, we haven't seen any like normies, so those must be the people buying eggs in the grocery store.
No, there's all the like slave people like pushing things. I don't know.
Okay,
they're
but
they
could have come from another planet, right?
Royalty people. I don't. But I was trying to decide whether Granny Goodness does do more than, and I'm trying to compare her to like Kanto showed up and handed them guns. Steppenwolf showed up and got beaten up immediately. Mm-hmm. I guess technically she's done the most, but I don't know. Oh, Calabac.
No, Calabac did some fucking up.
Yeah. But about Supergirl, I was wondering if at any point while bringing Kara back, Clark was worried about this being another Mala and Jaxer situation. But then she showed up at his parents' house, and I was like, nope, we trust her even more, I guess.
That's a fair point. Just being, or Clark being like, oh, a strange alien creature from another planet.
Yeah.
Here you go, Mom and Dad.
I hope I'm just going to go back to Metropolis. Hope she doesn't murder you in the meantime. And we as the audience have like precedents to believe that she would do that. Like she would be a bad character. But I guess since we know on a meta level that this is Supergirl, we just don't expect it or whatever.
You just trust it.
Yeah. I love the sequence in that fight where Superman says, "Call me nobody," then immediately gets shot and a box thrown at him.
That was pretty fun.
That was also really good when he's like, "A super girl? I don't believe it." And she goes, "Believe it," and immediately gets zapped out of the scene. And when Stompa kicks her through the wall chest first, she flies out into the street. That was really funny.
There were some good comedic, well, we even talked about that of like, it was kind of the comedy episodes where like the furries were doing all their comic bits. And
oh my God. Yeah. Matt Harriet saying like 3 quote unquote jokes in a row that they all like Scooby-Doo crack up at. And we're like, yeah, that's really funny. You saying a normal sentence. Like it wasn't even a joke. I don't know. All in all, I thought these episodes were a good way to introduce her to the story. Fine story, appropriate stakes, even if they did come with the very unkeen Porygon style electricity at the end there. Thanks as always, Yoppie Dudes. Hex.
What style electricity?
The Pokemon Porygon. There was a banned episode of Pokemon in Japan because there was too much
the
flashing
seizure
lights.
one.
Yeah,
okay.
So yeah, I agree. This is from The Unknown, which makes me think it's that it's The Unknown from the Willy Wonka experience or whatever.
Oh my God.
It's just an MP3, so I'm going to play it now.
Okay.
James and Brian, the so-called Yoppie Dudes. You've been doing this podcast for 131 weeks, or 1,092 days.
God damn it.
In 4 days' time, you will hit your 3-year anniversary of the first podcast episode released. But now it's time for something a little new. Over the next weeks, you will need to solve a mystery for the fate of one of your DCAU characters relies on it. That's right, I've kidnapped a character that has come up in conversation in the last 3 years. It's up to you, the Yoppie Dudes, to find out who, why, and where they are. Each week, you'll be able to ask me one question, which I will then answer. Talk amongst yourselves, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get them out alive. But trust no one, for you'll never know who could be involved. Your listeners, the people who mail in, they're all involved. They just don't know it yet. And if you find my identity out, it's already too late.
You're Dylan Pollock.
I was going to say that exact thing. Yes.
Does the character wear a hat? That's my question. Do we both get a question? Or do you just do we have a combined question? Do you agree to question does he wear a hat? Does the character wear a hat?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Okay. That'll narrow it way the fuck not down at all. Kale, Kryptonite Preservation Society. Hello, Jimmy and the Bryans.
Hello.
Holy landmark day, truly stellar. Size, a whole Saturn-esque ring. It's beautiful. Color, green, so much green. Current location, Krypton. How long do I need to train to become an astronaut? They look for short people, right? Previously from All Over Krypton, vibe, Too Close by Next. Until next time, Kale, curator, founder, and director of operations at Kryptonite Preservation Society. Yeah, that's a shit ton of kryptonite that you can go gather.
Do they actually look for astronauts to be short? Because that might be a problem for me being an astronaut in my life.
Did you want to do that?
I don't know. I just want the ability or the option.
The option?
The option.
Wow. I don't know. I hope so. Jessica can be an astronaut. The best there is. This is from Legolas. Yopton's log number 77. I said I'd read what it said. Heck yeah, the opening night of the play went really well with very few hitches and a killer crowd. Hooray!
Nice.
As for this log, though, since there wasn't a way for me...
You're supposed to tell us what show it was.
Oh. Maybe they did on Discord, but I forgot already. As for this log, though, since there wasn't a way for me to pilfer the soundboard sound, I had to come up with a creative solution with the tools I had available. I'm sure it won't sound different at all.
Yup, Time's log, number 77. It took no time at all to escape from the bondage I had been placed in my previous log. Why, after all, a very timely discovery was made as I put the walkie-talkie ball in my belt buckle and time slowed to a complete halt. I used this time to run a few errands, as clearly I now had plenty of time to ponder the little things. matters such as wondering whether Banana Man truly was okay. It had been some time since I had seen either peel nor paw of the elusive Banana Bandito. I explored, running through the nearby city to see an insurance-selling general angrily driving a tank over nearby vehicles. I incapacitated him with my patented fish Kwando, but the speed at which I smacked him with the fish triggered a nuclear explosion. I certainly hope that I can get away fast enough. It would be terrible if I got interrupted in the middle of a sentence.
Very good. Yeah, I couldn't tell the difference at all. Yeah.
Wait, tell the difference of what?
Oh, I don't know. This is from Bailey's Book Bites.
Bailey's?
This is a new one. You get a... hello, Jingles and Bongos. I heard about this podcast from listening to the BTAS podcast with Alex Robson. That's cool.
Yeah.
According to
Our
YouTube
friend.
Watch History, I started listening to this podcast February 18th, 2024, and just caught up last week. Not too shabby since I listen on normal speed. Just wanted to say I've loved the podcast so far and look forward to the future episodes. Stay yoppy. Well, thank you, Bailey.
Thanks for being here. Also,
Banana Man said okay.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
I really, really wish I could listen to the BTAS podcast.
Oh yeah.
I have to just about every episode. I'm like, nope, stop. Got to stop it right
they
there.
Start saying something that you're not supposed to hear.
Yeah. So I've kind of like,
not everybody can keep DCAU a secret hashtag for Brian.
Right.
It's okay. You'll get done with this eventually, and then you can watch the entire internet again. You know,
yay!
Just in time for you to not be on social media. Levi Church, little girl lost opinions. I didn't realize how much I forgot what happened in these episodes until I started my rewatch of it. Did not remember that Metallo's old friends from Intergang became new friends with Granny Goodness. Also surprised that Robin from Teen Titans traveled to the Timverse just to join Intergang. He must have seen all of Metallo's upgrades and got jealous. The episode is a fine introduction to Supergirl, although some more explanation of her powers would have been nice since she didn't actually come from Krypton. Would she even have heat vision? I guess she's close enough. I don't know. In part 2, I also forgot that Superman was captured and Kara had to save him. I do wish Clark could have been more trusting of his cousin from the start instead of giving her so many rules to follow. Why can't she be in Metropolis? I get that Clark wants to protect her, but she seems to be just as invulnerable as he is. Yeah.
That is an interesting point to bring up, actually.
Maybe Superman learned something about sexism in this episode.
I hope so.
Charles Modesira, hey, Yoppie dudes. I haven't been following the podcast these past 2 months due to an intense studying routine, so I had to catch up this week, listening to every episode I missed at a whopping one-time speed. So here's my impression speed run. I overall like the last few episodes, although I agree with most of your criticisms of Apocalypse Now, which I still enjoy. I think Double Talk and Mean Seasons are very solid episodes, and I'm glad to hear Brian liked Growing Pains. Anyway, Sub-Zero sucks. I think the hand-drawn cell animation from BTAS, although pretty inconsistent sometimes, always gave that artisanal quality to the show, while still being above American cartoons of the time, and that is just lost when you throw in 90s CGI.
Yes.
Story-wise, I believe the movie's greatest problem is too many characters. We have 67 minutes to develop Freeze, Barbara, Dick, Inuit Kid, Dr. Jerkass, Polar Bears, Batman, and ideally Nora Freeze. It could be better if they refocus the movie into what the title suggests it to be, a Batman and Mr. Freeze movie, showcasing the relationship between them. I like Dick and Barbara being awesome, but that didn't need to happen in the Mr. Freeze movie. Yeah. Little Girl Lost is great. I like Kara being Clark's biological cousin in the comics, but I think her being an alien from a planet right next to Krypton is a good compromise, working well with Bruce Timm's version of the Superman mythos and being way less confusing than what 90s comics were trying to do with the character. Now, to answer the question of where Batman's dinosaur originally came from, that would be a 1946 story by Bill Finger. It's basically just Jurassic Park, but the dinosaurs are robots. Fun fact, that issue had a blonde Catwoman for the first time 46 years before Batman Returns. By the way, as I write this, it is currently my birthday. Happy birthday in the past.
Happy birthday.
Charles
Happy
Mondesira.
birthday. Oh.
we both know we're going to do a different thing, and then we both know we're going to go afterward. We just been too long.
Well, happy birthday. I hope it's hope it was a good one.
Yes.
And here's to many more with each year getting better than the last one. Like 10 years from now, it's going to be crazy.
This is from LexCorp Cares, LexCorp Space Program. Hi there, Jelly and Berry Compote. Just calling in with a cool new idea sent from Chomp Chomp the LexCorp Shark's little underwater computer.
Hey there, it's LexCorp. You know, I heard about Supergirl. So jazzed that there's 2 of them now, aren't we all? But completely disconnected from that, I'm so excited to announce the start of the LexCorp Space Program. You know, I'm going to take brave men and women and shoot them into space with our hopes and our dreams and a loaded gun. And they're going to go to every single so-called dead world, and we're going to make sure that they're dead. Because apparently, on all of these so-called dead worlds, there's always just one little motherfucker hiding out there with a cape and a real hard-on for doing the right thing, isn't there? Anyways, I've got a lot of rockets to shoot off and a lot of planets just to check, just to make sure. Fuck.
They're getting more and more like insane as they go on.
I like it.
Yeah. Yoppie Beyond says, this is a new one. I think they had a comment last time, but I'll get the head of it. Anyway, thank you for getting me through all these days at work. Much love to you and Brian at Watchtower Database. Love the podcast and channel, and Yoppie forever. JR, aka JR7723, aka Yoppie Beyond. P.S. I'm 18 plus 22. And the early episodes when you would spam the old theme song.
18 plus 22?
Yeah.
So 40?
Yeah, there you go.
That's how old I am, too.
Nice. You're 18 plus 22.
Plus another 100 or so, right?
Oh, yeah, right. And the early episodes where you would spam the old theme song were what made me fall in love with the pod. I can't wait to catch up. Okay, good. It worked for somebody. Here's a voice message.
Well, it's currently thundering and raining, so I don't know if that's getting picked up or not. But hello, Bic Lighter and Sister Jaime. The clocking two, a clock tick. Cuckaloo, I think I said it right the first time, is good at times. My favorite part was when Ra's al Ghul went up to Officer Montoya and addressed her as Detective Montoya for the first time. Maybe it's just me, but Enigma and the Clock King are both one letter away from being bad. Grand Mazma says okay. Congrats on 100 reviews on Spotify. Woo!
Oh,
what?
4.9 yops.
4.9.
Harley's Holiday Vacation Reform is up next. Stay yoppy.
Making your way through. Cool.
Making your way through the pod. Thanks for sending in a voicemail.
Voice message. Charles Monsieur. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. 4.9 on Spotify. What the fuck? Who gave us less than 5?
The people who don't like soundboards or laughter.
Dylan. That's true, yeah. Ulrich Riddle. Riddle me this for Little Girl Lost Parts 1 and 2.
Riddle me this. What depths of despair could plague a precocious protector rescued from her ruptured world now faced with an echo of ecological extermination? Beats me, there's no time for introspection when there's punching to be had. We're left to wonder how the Maiden of Might feels waking up possibly decades after her planet's plight and now torn from her tribe. That's just how they do in Metropolis. The turnbuckle town is jam-packed with brutal bouts. They're lashing, they're slashing, they're stomping. How do you stop the countdown computer on a doomsday device? Amy's got the answer. Smack it with a big pipe. That's how I shut down all of my devices. And what a doomsday device it is. Have you ever needed to cover up a crime with fireworks? Then let Granny's meteor magnet help you ring in your wrong with a rumble. Simply point Granny's meteor magnet at the sky and watch as it sucks down a space rock straight to sea level, making your diabolical disaster look like a legitimate luminous light show. Get your Granny's meteor magnet today! Disclaimer, Granny's meteor magnet is intended for entertainment purposes only. Do not point at face or eyes. Granny is not responsible for any usage that may result in the violation of interplanetary peace treaties. Accessories sold separately, batteries not included. Until we yop again.
Oh my god, still under 60 seconds. Good job.
I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot.
I should have immediately transitioned from the Spotify review to we have 2 new reviews on Apple Podcasts. They're both 5 stars.
What about the 98 others on Spotify?
Oh my God, I don't know.
That's insane. When did that happen?
I don't know. I don't think that the Spotify ones include like text or something, but if they do, I want to look at them later. But this first one is 5 stars. It just says podcast. as you had suggested before. That was from GDO5. Thank you. This is from 8Pi Yay. Batmite for president. Love the show. So glad to have found it. Been listening for a few months now, and I'm halfway through all the episodes.
Oh my God.
101 reviews. That's cool. That's
101.
Cool. Damn.
That's how many Dalmatians there are in the world.
That's all there are, and they're gone now because they're extinct.
Oh, shit.
I'm really looking forward to the future episodes on all the other DCAU movies. Love you guys. Keep going. Thank you.
Oh, yes. That's a good way to put it. Keep going.
Just
keep going.
You're going to have to. Jordan Newman, the Supergirl one.
You're listening to GCN, Gotham City News with Jack Ryder.
I sure am.
Our top story tonight comes to us from Metropolis, where apparently an extinction-level meteor has just come very close to killing us all. Oh, God, I need a drink. I'm leaving, guys. Fucking Metropolis.
You have to come back.
Over the music?
Yeah.
I really like the music that plays when we first see Supergirl flying around Smallville, and I have a suspicion that it was either temp music or heavily inspired the music in the Lego DC Supervillains video game. Whenever you go to Metropolis, there's some music that plays. It sounds very similar, and I think it's an inspiration for it. Never apologize for loving your fandom, and try to stay optimistic.
I thought you were going to say it was temp music from Sleeping Beauty or something from Cinderella. When she was flying with the geese. Cinderella. That's all the geese are saying.
That's canon.
Eric LeBeau, Little Girl Lost, or see, Kara, this is why you should wear pants and not a skirt. Ooh. Well, guys, I'm not the hugest fan of this two-parter. In fact, I think it's probably among the weakest Superman episodes. I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion, but it's just not working for me.
Okay.
I'd say the most enjoyable part for me was the lunch conversation with the Kents, though I wish it went on and had Pa Kent say, then Darkseid beat him within an inch of his life. Or Kara responds, really? Honestly, it was a bit of a Goku moment. Back to my point, I really feel like it's awkward having to cut to however long it's been after Superman finds Kara with not even so much as a montage. I get that they want to tell a proper story and not be too bogged down, but even so much as a minute or two of her adjusting to human life would help make it feel less jarring. What's more is that Kara isn't really clicking with me in terms of personality.
The only thing we get is when Jimmy's like, bingo. And she's like, bingo, what's that?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When's the thing? And then she says bingo later.
Well, and I thought
That's
about
all the character development you need.
Yeah, I had
Bingo.
a confusion with that, which was she knows English.
I mean, all these everyone on Acropolis knows English. It's the universal language.
I don't know if we'll watch it later. There's a non-DCAU movie from like 2010, 11, something like that. Where it's another telling of Supergirl coming to Earth, and she's just speaking in like a Kryptonian language the whole time, and then it does a fast forward to her like this, but you at least get to see her going like, alien language, what's going on? And then Superman has to be like, calm down or whatever.
She's all Lilu multipass.
Exactly. Actually pretty similar. Yeah. I think what could have totally redeemed this episode, though, is if the ending exchange went like this. Clark, that reminds me, Jimmy, my cousin's in town. Jimmy, why does Supergirl remind you of your cousin? Clark, fuck. On a side note,
yes, thank you for that.
On the topic of last week's episode, I'm surprised no one else came to the conclusion that the reason Paige went by Calendar Girl is because of, well, calendar girls, like those models you see on calendars. Am I just reaching here, or does this make sense to anyone else? Until next time, don't forget to sub to the Patreon listener, as well as keep calm and yap on.
Yeah.
Thanks for the constant Patreon plugs. We need to
I
do
love
those more ourselves, but yeah, maybe that is I think Tip Tapricot or someone had said it was a double entendre, the Calendar Girl name, and I went, what do you mean? I don't know. What's the other thing?
We're just we're kind, pure boys.
Yeah, we don't have any horniness at all. This is from True Score. Little Girl Lost, or parts 1 and 2, or Little Girl named Kara or Kara. Hey, little boys lost in the podcasting nightmare that is also known as social media and the internet. Smart of you to get out of there, Brian. I applaud you.
Thank you.
I think my main problem with this is that we focus so much on Apocalypse. I wish we got more of Kara adapting to being on Earth. This is everybody's input is the same thing, which just shows that it was really needed. But yeah, pretty good. Missing some Lex Luthor action, though. Where's he been? Here's what was said during the episode. Superman should not be around that much kryptonite, bro. Yeah, you said, like, is that going to kill him? It's just in space. Enter gang bang me. Granny? Is that a woman? Kara and Jimmy. Oh, hell yeah, I ship it. Same size, but not the right color. Racist much, Jimmy? My tube is booming, if you know what I mean.
I do.
Women assemble. Already did it better than Endgame. Hello, big boy. Some of these lines are wild in these episodes. Everyone looks crazy on Apocalypse. Then you've got just 3 big dogs that you can ride as a horse. Dance, monkey boy, dance. This script is insane. You big meatloaf. Oh, my fucking God. Bootlicker.
There it is.
Girl fight, girl fight. Granny got back. Granny got zapped. Granny got lashed. You go do it the hard way, Superman. Enjoy your weekends, especially if you're seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. I wish you a spoiler-free experience. Till next time, Brody. Yeah, that's this coming weekend.
I do need to see that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Sent on my Lashina lashing device, otherwise known as Whip on Terra, version 19.98 with removable battery case for optimal charging options. Batteries not included. That's the second.
Can we
batteries not
please go back to a time when you could take your battery out of a cell phone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So you can go into the wilderness and not be tracked by the agents of...
Not
NSA.
even that. Just the amount of times that, like, I've had problems with the phone and, like, it's not
I just
wanted
wanted
to, like,
turn it off.
it.
Yeah.
Just take the fucking battery out, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you can. It just involves a hammer. This is from Ryan Hipp. Robin's Reckoning Part 3. Baby Hands' origin story.
Let me begin by stressing that this voice message is intended for James Strecker, and only James Strecker as part of my ongoing lawsuit against Brian McNeely, the real reason for his abrupt exit from social media. I apologize to all those affected, but let me assure you, Mr. McNeely and I will have our day in court.
Greetings. Just popping in to say that I will not be an accessory to any of this nonsense. No, not happening, not getting involved. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Keep it keen.
It's everybody's favorite. This episode makes the proud family DCAU canon. And to any lost media weirdos listening right now, please find that Today's Show segment for us. Make yourselves useful. I think this might be the first two-parter that justifies being that. The story feels pretty balanced across both parts. Maybe the best looking not Japanese episode, at least since Mix Yes Pixelated, maybe even the pilot. It's really fluid in spots, and I think just pretty strong across the board. Of course, the best dialogue in the entire series is in this episode.
Hey man, it was an accident, just like your face.
And who could forget, in the role of the lifetime, Roseanne Barr as Stampa. Just brilliant, brilliant casting. The end.
It's not just Dylan anymore calling out the stuff that we say. It's the other Dylans too.
Ryan's on it. Also, just having a nice like moonlit walk through Florida.
Yeah. You could hear all those cicadas in the background.
Them's are Florida cicadas.
It kind of makes me feel like nostalgic for like drum corps evenings.
Jamie, you can just go outside where you live, you know?
There's not cicadas here. That's okay. I don't want them anyway. This is from Grant Douglas. What's yippity yappeting on brand and River Thames? How do you say it? Is it Thames? I don't know. Thames, sure. It's kind of funny jumping from a critique of ageism in Mean Seasons to here's Superman but female, so she has to be a teenager. That aside, I don't actually like Supergirl or this episode, though I think it presents her character as very simplistic. She's sassy and rebellious, which certainly can be an interesting trait, but that's about all she's got. This episode was definitely very focused on appealing to kids, with Kara rebelling against grumpy old Superman and tagging along with Jimmy to fight the new Inner Gang, which is also just a bunch of kids. Obviously, this pandering is to be expected. It's a kid's show after all, but still, I feel the plot suffers by making Kara a bit one-note, especially since her whole world and family died, and one would think that would affect her more. Also, it's pretty clear that pairing Kara with Jimmy was totally meant to, let's say, engage the target demographic of 4th to 8th grade boys. With that being said, what cartoon or television character did you have a crush on as a kid? For me, it was Wendy Corduroy from Gravity Falls, since I was a 5th grader who saw a lot of himself in Dipper Pines. Peace out, GD.
I love Gravity Falls so much.
I think I don't remember if I said this on the podcast, but I was talking to you at your house about how the show Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, which was like a Nickelodeon live action show, that you see memes that say like, who is your first celebrity crush? And I could like never think of anything. And then I saw they started a rewatch podcast, the like actors from that show, and the girl that plays Mose in that show, and I just instantly went like, "Oh, I know the answer." So, yeah, that. I don't know if you've had a fictional character crush.
That's something that I always kind of struggled with. But I did.
It can be a live action thing because I know you're all like, Jamie, that's a cartoon. That's lines on a paper. You can't be attracted to it.
Who likes cartoons? Holds up
who like
tattoo
on their body. Yeah.
When I was younger, I don't know if it was a crush or if I just liked her style or something, but there was this show that no one will remember. Kyle, called The Secret World of Alex Mack.
I know that show.
Yeah, okay.
I'm old enough.
Okay, good. And that was one of those that, like, I think I kind of had a crush on her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
What was also Harriet the Spy girl?
Michelle Trachtenberg?
Yeah. Eventually, I was like, oh, Michelle Trachtenberg. And then when I realized that that's who she was as like a child actor, I was like, oh, maybe that one. But like when I'm in like fifth grade or something. But you would have been too old. So you see,
I'm always too old.
Yeah. Last couple we got from Kyle. It says, first off, I want to thank you both for being such yoppie dudes. I consider myself lucky to consider you both friends. Oh, Kyle. You shouldn't. Mean Seasons is an episode. Consider yourself lucky, is what I mean. Mean Seasons is an episode I remember being much better than it is. I think the intentions were great, but the message being delivered in the last few seconds doesn't achieve what I think they were trying to. Yep, that was our takeaway as well. Little Girl Lost was my first introduction to Supergirl. Besides the Christopher Reeve movies, it pretty much introduced me to most of the Superman lore. Going back to Mean Seasons, though, my question for both of you is, what was the first time you felt old? James, was it recently? And Brian, was it when they invented color? Love you both, Kyle and Ron. I did have one of those recently. We were over at Jessica's great uncle's house, and there were other family members there. And we were having dinner, and I kept trying to figure out why I recognized this like teenage girl that was there. And it turns out she was the flower girl at our wedding, and we're having our 10-year anniversary this year. And I went like, oh my God, like you are a person now. And I had the moment that everyone talks about where someone comes up to you and says like, I knew you when you were this big, where I realized like, fuck, that's what old people say. Like, God damn it. No. So yeah, it was pretty recent.
I was getting on, I was like later 20s, I think. And it's when I was working at the theater in California. I was mentoring these teens in this acting troupe, and it was like the teens, 16, 17, 18, and they were the teens, whatever. And they were like all born like mid 90s, whatever. And it was like totally fine with it. And then like someone a little bit younger came in and joined the crew, and I found out that she was born in like 2003. And I was like, that was the year after I graduated high school. And it felt, that moment, I was just like, oh my God. And I think back to it still.
Yeah.
Like that's a barometer for like when I meet kids these days, are like, I think Apricot might have been born after that.
They just mentioned they turned 20, right? Oh yeah. So it was
2002.
Yeah.
Or 2000. Wait a minute.
4. It's 2024 this year, Fuck. You old man. Anyway.
Yeah, so that sort of
I've
thing
had that same thing teaching the marching band kids was like, oh, cool, the seniors. When did you say you were born? Oh, my God.
Yeah. That and the something that I don't look at anymore because it's very upsetting is the like the liquor store, or like, you go to, like no cigarettes or alcohol unless you're born after these dates. Like a decade ago, I stopped looking at it.
There's the memes of like taking your ID and immediately handing it back and being like, yeah, I saw the 19. I knew everything I needed to know. Like, oh no, the far gone days. Kyle also had a MP3 attached called Well, I Tried. So I want to see what this is.
Okay.
Hi, I have this Yop drink and I'd like to mail it to Oregon. How much is that going to cost?
Sir, you can't send dairy products across the border.
What do you mean? Why not? It's really important. I need to do this for James and Brian.
I understand, but you still can't do it.
Oh, man. Well, you tried.
that was on the tail. I don't know when it was sent, but we've been having a chat recently about that. Like, how'd you get it? And we're just like, well, just put it into an envelope.
Just pour it in the liquid.
Yop into an envelope and mail to us. That's how you mail it to Oregon. It's fine.
It's just seeping out this. We're like out the corner of the envelope.
Mind you, it's been like going on 100 here lately. And imagine that just like sitting, like mailing all the way from Canada unrefrigerated.
My precious Yop. Last verse, we got Mark Aquino. Little girl lost, or our new Superman's a girl. Someone beat it to it. Lonola Cola, I think. Or QMCR's teenagers. And now, a haiku. Supergirl is here. What will Brian think of her? Fleischer references. I'm really curious about what Brian's reaction to Granny Goodness and the female furries will be. No one's been saying that. I've just been saying.
Damn it, Jamie. Don't get my hopes up like that.
I'm sorry. I feel like he'll either like these characters or they'll be the last straw for him when it comes to all the Kirby fourth world elements. Personally, I think they're all right. Overall, I like this two-parter. I can understand how some would think this isn't all that great, but I still think there are plenty of things to like about it. The action is really good. You do get a sense of just how powerful the forces of Apocalypse are. Kind of. I guess. It's technically the finale of Season 2 of S-Test. Is it really? Did I not mention this? Holy shit, hang on a second. Jesus Christ. Don't mind me, I'm just checking the fucking spreadsheet. Oh my god, it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Next Superman episode will be the start of Season 3. There are 4 total seasons.
Oh, we're halfway,
the final season is like 3 episodes long.
Oh, we're way more than halfway, baby.
There's 52 episodes. We just watched 40 and 41.
We're doing the Batman thing.
Yeah, well, now we're in finally like syndication Kids WB stuff where they're like, we just need 52, and then you're done. We don't need any more than that.
Wow.
But I think it would have made sense to have Apocalypse Now be the Season 2 finale and this be the opener for Season 3, given how the ending is more optimistic. But hey, that's just my silly old opinion. Boss Biggest Bear Hugs to the number one podcast.
How old is your opinion, Mark?
Tell us. I don't know. Boss Biggest Bear Hugs, the number one podcast host in this your multiverse of ours, Juilliard School of Acting, and Banza Brand Spaghetti. Banza? I don't know. Praise our Lord and Savior Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast. Remember to tell Gab
that she rules.
She rules. Kyle. Likewise, of course, to all his loyal disciples, all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours. You're the absolute best. Don't you ever forget that. I got a card in the mail from Bizarro Mark and Scarface the other day. I haven't read the inside of it yet, but it has to be a picture. It has a picture of a stork on it. Looks like my Bat-Wagon comment lore is about to get even more out there, but you'll find out all about that next time. Big ol' whoosh, I just flew away, baby. And there's a kiss emoji. That's very nice. Thank you, Kyle.
Horniest podcast.
Of course.
Poor Kyle. Just saying.
Kyle.
You're like, oh my god, there's so many results. Yeah. And they're all out of context.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Not all of them. Sometimes Kyle. Okay, Brian, the next episode.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you ready?
Yes, sir.
It's called The Demon Within. Is it Batman or Superman? You're trying to guess what that is referring to or think of what the demon within could mean.
Superman?
No.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. What do you think it's about, the demon within? Here's a non-hint. There's been a character that has demon in his name so far.
Oh my god.
To pronounce.
Is this a Ra's al Ghul episode?
I said it's a non-hint. It's not. I was trying to throw you off.
Oh, so it's not a Ra's al Ghul episode?
It's not Ra's al Ghul, but that might help you. I was thinking you might remember that, and I don't know why I thought you would, but
dummy.
I didn't want it to hurt your chances. It's not him.
Fuck, dude. I don't know.
Fuck Dude returns.
Fuck Dude returns.
Fuck Dude's origin story.
God damn it, you beat me to it. Jamie, I have no idea.
I mean, kinda. Who's Fuck Dude? We'll just refer to this character as Fuck Dude the whole time next time.
I I honestly,
it's a new villain. It's also a like team up episode, like another hero episode.
Oh,
yeah. We've had a Flash one, we've had a Batman one, we've had Steel, we've had Supergirl.
It's gonna be Steel again.
It's Steel and Superman versus Fuck Dude.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, cool. In the Batman show.
Yes. Batman's usefulness is going to be very low.
Batman drives away in the Batmobile at the start of the episode. Says, you guys deal with Fuck Dude. I don't have enough time for this.
I love it.
Sounds good. Okay, that's the podcast finally.
Yes, thanks for sticking with this.
Brian, thank you for sticking with this.
Thank you for sticking with this, Kyle.
Sometimes I think about Kyle. Sometimes I think about Sometimes I think about how Brian started off the podcast a lot more happy, I think. Now that he's signed the contract or whatever, he has to do these things.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, he's so tired. He's been listening to a podcast for 2.5 hours. He's so tired.
I was tired before the podcast.
Me too. And it's also like bedtime in my house for my wife and child. And I've spent the last 3.5 hours or something like that doing this with you.
Hooray.
And I'm just continuing it by still talking for some reason. So
it's time to stop the podcast right now.
You keep staring at your byline, you'll burn a hole in it.
What? Oh, yeah. It just looks so good.
It's a big story. You should be proud.
So, tell us, Jimbo. Is she as cute as her picture?
See for yourself.
Oh, hey. All right. There she is. Hey.
That reminds me, Jimmy. My cousin's in town, and something tells me you two would hit it off just fine.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, Brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of World's Finest Part 3, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Podtower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.
What if I just didn't even put the ending spiel and clip and anything? It just cut off right there.
It'd be kind of weird, Jamie.
It'd be good.